Wednesday nightclub from 8 p.m. And look, they will be delighted from what they're seeing from performance so far. There's a big stage on. At some point, fans, like the sides around them, need to do this for themselves.
They do, you're absolutely right. In the stadium, yeah, there'll be trouble with people coming out for that. But it's not the style of the game. It's one thing that happens. They run there on the moment, which is relegation for. I expect they'd be earmarking this one when they look at games to win before the end of the season. But when you look at the fixtures they've got left, they have got winnable games. They've got Newcastle away, they've got Burnley here, they've got Norwich away, they've got Watford here, and then the final game of the season, it could all come down to this. They've got Aston Villa at home on the final day. So they've got the opportunity to win matches, to win enough matches to stay up. But they've got to start into the final soon.
How do you think that got affected?
John and yeah, it'll be a big night for Chelsea. Well, Chelsea potentially could go third in the Premier League table above Leicester, who was 2-0 down
This place must have been important to the
Arsenal
Giants.
2, Norwich 0 half-time at the Emirates. Updates from those games, plus the 3 matches that are going on at the moment in the Championship. As we said, Preston 0, Derby 1, Birmingham 0, Huddersfield 1 at half-time, and Forest 0, Bristol City 0. Updates to come during second half commentary. Wednesday against West Brom, back to the Vitality Stadium. Can
Bournemouth 0, Newcastle 2.
Go ahead.
Matt and Addis.
They had to play better than they did in the first half.
What's he doing?
That's no great surprise. British just waiting to get this game restarted. The referee is white.
Thought maybe there'd be a break.
Blue shirt, short sleeve, black shorts, black socks.
Giants need to test us
Waiting for the face that way, we can get it underway. Lewis Cook has come on in central midfield and has replaced Philip Billings. Eddie Howe could have changed any number after the half time. He's just chosen
There's a
one
crystal in that
for
torch
now.
hole. Should I like?
Absolutely, I mean, the casualty at half-time from Eddie Howe. Yeah, that's a good run forward by Lerma right at the start of the second half.
These bastards seem too small for Giants. Why you laugh?
Flag is up. In one count, Kevin Brett quite rightly blew the whistle after the ball hit the back of the net. The video assistant referee will have a look, so the point being, is keep the offside position when someone keeps the job.
Okay, in that case, Giant also means big. There's only one.
Very clear on that, but good start. The kick-off. All the way down to themselves, but to clear it up with kids. It's not that much to ask at this point of the season. They've got to. I mean, this is the players' livelihood. Everyone's club, it's the fans, it's the manager, it's 5 seasons in the Premier League. It's never easy to get back once you've gone down. Who knows what will happen to the players and their manager if they do get relegated. So trailing 2-0, King's goal ruled out quite rightly for offside. Brooks' ball forward.
Yeah.
Cleared by Fernando.
It always happens when out offside.
Again, in just a second. I'll also take it to Rupert shortly to get the team news on Sheffield Wednesday against West Brom, which is kicking off at 7:45 this evening. We'll have updates to that one, along with West Ham Chelsea on the Wednesday night. Let's see what's happening. From Hillsborough. No wins and no goals. The Rock 4 league games ahead of third-place Brentford. Is taking things up, adding 5 changes. But for Carlu, Solar, Jake Livermore, Steve Day, 3 of them dropped to the bench. Charlie Austin back into the lineup front. 3 changes. Except for Wednesday, the Raiders. Passion, the England Stadium bet. Newcastle 2. Joe Edison with a foul. He's got Lerma over. Lerma's little run and dribble at the start of the first half. That was almost like, right, I've got to make up for that terrible mistake I made at the start of the first half.
Or he could easily be a feeling casual. Yeah, he was the top of the coin between which midfield player needs to start the game horribly.
Everyone's waiting for something here. Bournemouth have a free kick. The Joe Edison foul. Crystal pointing to Kevin Brent. Kevin Brent pointing to Aaron Ramsdale and to move something or do something. Ramsdale goes right behind the byline. He grabs a replacement ball and sticks it in
phones, right? They were meant to sit on the phones, right? So
Those guys were easy.
they were there because if the ball goes into the fans, they need another one in the game. Ready to sterilise and wipe and ready to go. What distraction is that? If they're sitting on the cone, the outside, is it because they're the outside? It's probably because they're 5 yards behind the pylon and it's going to see like that. Anyway. Bizarre. That baffled me. I have no idea how that ball is interfering with anyone's eyesight or the linesman or the play. And they're down
Boy,
another
light crystal.
So to our right-hand side, in front of the 10th Dougal stand, we've got exactly the same thing. But at the other end, Alan Ramsdale and on the side of the pitch. So they're sitting on code, orange code. Well, they're sitting right in front of the advertising so the players can get the ball quickly. Yeah. It surely makes sense. That is really stupid.
Just look at this.
Going that way, maybe.
I was gonna say ancient. That works too.
Joelinton heads the ball infield. Bournemouth 0, Newcastle 2. Little distraction for us all. BBC Radio 5 Live. Steve Crossman with the Wednesday night club to follow. Updated West Ham. Updated on Arsenal, Norwich, Everton, Leicester in the second half. Both games at the moment 2-0. The home team early stage of the second half. Brooks' little third time allowed. Too pacey for Adam Smith, who can't keep it in. The throw in for Newcastle. So Bournemouth in this second half, 4-4-2, 4-4-1-1. Today, Ramsdale in goal, Adam Smith, Steve Cook, and you've got Nathan Ake and Lloyd Kelly making the first goal for Bournemouth. Those last two both on yellow cards. Brooks, Lerma, Lewis Cook now, and Arno Danjuma. Danjuma on the left and Brooks on the right. And then Solanke and King. The two up front for Bournemouth. There we are. Red and black stripes. And here is Lewis Cook, the substitute. He's playing the ball across to Adam Smith and back to Steve Cook. Newcastle have to break through in goal. Back four of Clark, Fernandez, Lascelles and Manchio. They've got some defending to do at the moment. Solanke's on the ball and he's seen the ball. Kelly's in some space on the left. Kelly gets his cross in. Comes off Shelby, goes straight up in the air. Lascelles flying over the back. He's got it. Solanke lands pretty awkwardly. And I think we're going to get a little bit of stoppage in play. So where's that Newcastle team? Start. And it's very bad. The first 20 minutes of the game where he had to go off with a hamstring injury. So played by Almiron. So you've got Shelby, Bentled and Almiron. And then Dwight Gale, Joelinton and Alan Saint-Maximin. And Matt, for those not listening in the first half, what's been really noticed about the Newcastle performance and actually led to that first goal was this idea of one of the central midfielders who was Longstaff to begin with, ahead of the press, ahead of everyone else, and putting all the pressure on. It worked brilliantly. Ahead of Dwight Gale, Joelinton and Saint-Maximin just dropping, sitting back, not going and hunting the ball, and allowing the midfield three almost, with, like you say, Longstaff being in the middle with Shelby and Bentled back in the park. So those two come out of the middle of the park, go and press high. And it worked brilliantly. It won the ball back. It was a major factor in the first goal. Saint-Maximin going to hit one of his left. That's a good save. That was hit with real power, spitting down low into the bottom corner. And Ramsdale reacted well, and it's not behind for a Newcastle corner. Yeah, he had to react to that. Then it's a lovely left-footed shot. He's cut inside. Saint-Maximin drilled it low to the near post. All the Premier League games then at the moment are 2-0. Newcastle 2-0 up here. Arsenal 2-0 at home to Norwich. Everton leading Leicester by 2 goals to 0. Two more Premier League commentaries tomorrow on 5 Live. Sheffield United, Tottenham at 6. Shelby's corner.
This is a lot of bodies.
Gets the right hand at it. The Bournemouth keeper pulls it away. Joelinton takes it back, tackles Josh King, throwing for Bournemouth on the right. So
Tell me what you see.
first entry at 6 o'clock.
They look like men, not giants.
Correct. Being seeking treasure through the traps.
Oh yeah. Lucky for us, they set them all off.
We're grateful for stay dead.
Two managers approach that. What teams are selected, what sort of game we're going to see. It should be high quality whoever plays. Adam Smith out to the right to Brooks.
Statue! He made it across!
I don't mind that from the cell, you know, clearly going into the goalkeeper, the centre back, never take a risk. When you're in that 6-yard box, you're in your head, do the safety thing first, you get it out. And if you don't get a shout, if you decide to leave that, and the keeper will just be, could be, even if you get a shout, really. I really believe that, because if nothing can go wrong, corner to goal
Bournemouth. Brooks into near throw. Back out to Brooks again. He lets it go for a throw. Another goal at Everton. Leicester back in this one. Everton 2, Leicester 1. Substitute Iliachu, who's come on for the second half, along with Madison heading home. The cross came in and he had to chest the ball down. It rumbled, but somehow he got his head to it. Before the ball over line. Get Leicester back into this one. Everton 2, Leicester 1. Now, an important penalty has been given in the Championship. Birmingham Huddersfield, Jonathan Overend. It's just been missed by Huddersfield Town. They have a chance to go 2-0 up here at St Andrews. But it's a brilliant save by Lee Campbell.
One of the stacks of the world.
Are you still there?
I do not know.
Derby 1-0 winners at Preston since the restart. Derby 3 wins out of 3, just 1 point outside the top 6. Sheffield Wednesday, West Brom come second. Back in at Goodison Park, good run from Dan Schumer into Newcastle penalty. They've got Shelby in front of it, the challenge from Shelby. Got to keep on the ball, and Maximum trying to bring it away. Goes skipping past two former defenders. Lerma thought about putting it back. Can't do that either. Thought about trying it. Good left hand, but Almiron can't get past it. Very nearly was from driving run. Riding the big riding the tackle. There has been a goal against Birmingham and Huddersfield.
Still on goal.
Now it is 2-0 to Huddersfield, and how they're celebrating. The team that haven't won since the resumption are heading for 3 points here at St Andrews, and it's Fraser Campbell who's got on the end of a top-low free kick, and it's Birmingham City 0, Huddersfield Town 2. Danny Cowley speaking ahead of that game in the week, being on, still we're going to get relegated, so he's worried about it. He said over my dead body there, 2-0 up at Birmingham, Almiron blocks an Ake clearance, can't get onto the loose ball. Ake is able to recollect it for Bournemouth. So 10 minutes gone in the second half, not to forget how important this game is for Bournemouth. Next score against Manchester United, Tottenham, Leicester and Manchester City. They're in the box three and they're 2-0 down.
I think Mom noticed the Giants got
So they started this second half.
The request has been more complicated than she could have foreseen.
Counter down Schumer on the left-hand side. Two forwards strikers in the box.
It's a name, I think. Brazil. It means terror. What's that?
The diving header away. Real pace that drop. Sort of deflection into Newcastle net. Now Brooks on the edge of the box.
That is of no use to us. The Bifrost will tell you that.
Fernandez clears. Gale brings it down.
You think with these torches, dead don't make it.
Eyes open.
On the left, latest from the Emirates Stadium, comes from Emma Saunders. Tuning up here, Morris's triple substitution is doing the business. So Ida, Hernandez and Dermot are on the Buendia, Tribal and Pookie. And almost an immediate impact. Ida and Hernandez are blasting at shots that have been saved and wide.
Yeah, Pokey still ain't scored.
Meanwhile, has a face of Staffy in the Arsenal back line. Still Arsenal 2, Norwich 0. Almiron, head to the box, head to the Bournemouth penalty area. With his right foot, into the back of the net. Speed through, punches the air if you like.
3-0 to Nukes.
Stop that.
Have a third goal
that was
to
just-
deepen Bournemouth's woes. Brilliant from Almiron. Bournemouth 0, Newcastle 3. Just when I was going to say the phrase that Bournemouth has started to show a little bit more attacking promise, they just completely go to sleep at the other end. You know, it's quite a
We made it to the fucking mine. Yeah.
What is wrong?
And if this claw reaches the summit, our goal is near.
It's just too easy. He doesn't come out and lay a club, he just allows it to glide past. But lovely. Almiron on as a substitute with a third Premier League goal of the season, a 7th in total. And as Hudson just said, the finish didn't go with power, just glided it high beyond Ramsdale, into the top corner of the net. So I think this is done justice for Bournemouth. Big game at 8:15 in the Premier League. West Ham against Chelsea. We'll be enjoying this Newcastle performance for West Ham fans. What about the team news from that game, John Southall?
Well, we've got two changes for both. Surprising news for West Ham is there's no Martin He's actually just sitting in the stand below us at the moment, looking across the London Stadium. Must have picked up an injury. Well, Fuller also comes in for about way.
How so?
Two changes for Chelsea. Lee James and Abraham starts up front in place of the
Scumbag.
and Matthew Kovacic is in for Mason Mount.
Should we add to it? Machinery and almost won.
8:15, 13 minutes in the second half at Vitality Stadium.
No, I think the Giants not only mind the money,
Wolves lost 2-0 home to Crystal Palace, 1-0 away to Wolves. They are 3-0 down here, not even played out of the game. And there's barely much of an effort on goal in any of those three games. They are not being out of the Premier League with a real win. Adam Smith knocked off the ball. Karolinski's first half hit the referee, Kevin Trent. Second one, no fine Shelby. Shelby falling towards Gale. A full threat intercept. Not to touch the goalkeeper Ramsdale, and Steve Bruce appeals for the free kick. He says it's deliberate.
It can't be deliberate. I understand what you do. I think the defender just gets across to get the foot on it, but you knew as soon as that ball went wide, Shelby could master it in an early pass. It's one of his star assets to me. He sees the ball, especially from wide. He seems to get that lovely width and pace on the ball. He put it into Gale, but I think if Steve Cook just got back and got a really important switch.
I think also Steve Bruce has been playing, made a challenge like that, and he's been on, for a number of hours. He was absolutely ballistic.
He's never big appeals, isn't he, Steve? They aren't rough in the air.
He's had a bit of fun, Steve Bruce. A little bit of chewing gum in his mouth. Smart, dark blue jumper this evening. Round of black shoes. Totally in control, leading by 3-0, heading towards 42 points in the Premier League table. They are well safe at Newcastle. Bournemouth anything but. Here's Lewis Cook on at half-time. Ball through the middle to David Brooks. Hits it with his left. A great shot off the bar and behind. Nothing going forward. That's a lovely effort.
Really nice, wasn't it? That's exactly what Brooks wants. He should have receiving the ball just in that little pocket of space. Newcastle has just sat off. The nice work from Solanke that
I think I see how this works.
to drop a little bit.
It goes on one side,
Held it with his
and
left
if we
foot.
hit this, I'm stuck. No, I think the rope's stuck under that rock.
That was careless.
Yes, sir.
On the back of his orange shirt, Valentino Lazaro, the Austrian on loan from Inter Milan, will be the other player to come on for Newcastle. Short, still half an hour to play.
Maybe we can find our way there after getting rid of those things.
Cannot see it today.
No, I mean, if there's ever a game
Takes care of that.
To play for Newcastle for the rest of this season. Got a lovely, big, broad smile on his face. He knows he's played well.
he absolutely does. Yeah, a big smile on his face.
And he was sold that by Steve Bruce. So Carroll and Lazaro off. And Masterman and Gale out. And Gale is making his way around the ring. And he's got a lead field at the nearest point. Harry Wilson.
What's it going to be this time?
And Junior Stanislav is coming on for
Leader.
David Brooks. Stanislav and Wilson replacing the two wide men, Danju and Brooks. So plenty of changes should be made.
It is a
Newcastle
mountain.
leading by 3-0.
Big.
Arsenal 2-0 up on Norwich. Everton leading Leicester 2-1. Derby 1-0 winners.
Steve.
Huddersfield, despite seeing a penalty saved, 2-0 for Birmingham, a win at the second half of the Championship. Forest, Bristol City, Forest leading 5th. Forest tonight in the Championship. Still goalless at the City ground. With his right foot. Shepherd is back to the goalkeeper. It's Bradford and 22 actually for Newcastle. Has there been a shot on target? Well, no, I can't think of one. I mean, Brooks hit the bar, but obviously that's not on target, obviously, by the very definition. Shelby in with the challenge, got the ball, then the man, free kick.
He's got both no yellow card there, Shelby. It was one of those little late kind of lungy tackles.
Late and lungy, John Joe Shelby. Crouched down, right on the side of his pitch, desperately opening his team to giving something to go out for the next 6 games in total, but there's just been very little.
traps.
So they've been in the second half. Tony Rose has just come back from his warm-up
Okay.
for Newcastle. Bournemouth trailing by 3-0. So West Ham are now to the home game against Chelsea and even bigger opportunity. West Ham tonight. They would move 3 points above Bournemouth, 2 points above Watford, 3 points behind Brighton. So the only way to actually won a game since the restart. Arsenal throwing for Bournemouth on the left. Lloyd Kelly faced it, throws it back to Ako. There across to Steve Cook. Smith. Too many options there. Infield and Lerner. Lerner runs away from the bench there. Inside forward half. Wide ball.
Yeah, we're gonna hit that one now.
Kelly tries to take on the Zyro. Tackle.
Looks kind of
Goes
heavy.
out.
I can move it.
For a throw. On the left wing, midway inside the Newcastle half. The Bournemouth train 3-0. What about Goodison Park? A little bit closer there, Juliette. Very
A little bit later, they are a little bit past Everton and Michael Keane. What a top of the cheek from him, clearing off the line after Pickford. The ball came in from across. It slipped through his fingers. He had a moment there. He was so lucky. Made an absolute howler, but Michael Keane was there. It sort of clear inches off the line. So close to another equaliser, or good equaliser for Leicester. Everton still lead here by 2-1.
And last we heard from Emma Saunders. Norwich, although they were behind, were playing a little bit better, Emma.
Yeah, they still are.
see that.
Right, still 2 behind, but up in the ante. Considering the don't have a penalty, so Campbell goes down with a bit of a bar, isn't it, now? You've seen them give it, but it was it. The same call around the referee in the line, so they goal was the kick. Referee puts up that spot. They're down to 2 more.
That's it.
Joe Liston is down for Newcastle with an injury at the moment, so he's going to need a little bit of treatment, which gives us a chance to get to the City ground, or little Forest ground, Bristol City, the team down 4.
Still 0 here, the visitors have started the last surprise up to 2 sides once again. Naki Wells with a header deflected over by Tobias Figueiredo, and you just see Ashley Williams as well fire a header in towards Bryce Samba. So Thiago Silva has had Forest solo opportunity this half. That one, a long ranger, well wide of Dan Bentley in the Bristol City code, 0-0.
So while Joe Linton receives treatment, referee Kevin Prentice decided to need a grip break as well here at Bournemouth. Bournemouth 0, Newcastle 3. Johnson over at Washington Birmingham against Huddersfield. Bill Birmingham 0, Huddersfield 2 here. And when Birmingham was 2-0 down
Another
on
lantern.
Saturday at home to Hull, they fought back to 2-2. They were lucky not to lose that game, but they're not showing the same verve of vitality at the moment to get themselves back into this one. They're really struggling for ideas, Birmingham. Huddersfield still well, Hedges 2-0 lead. Now it's the rear guard action to hold on to it. Birmingham 0, Huddersfield 2. Thank you, Jonathan. Drink break almost over here. I'm just using this break over to look at the replay of the goal. And the intensity of defending from ball through is just awful. We can say that Newcastle's done well. To them, Alvarez goal, nothing to finish the rest of it. But there's just no one's laying a glove. It's like shadow. The whole game from Bournemouth's perspective was worrying thing that we give all quality chances to have a good day, but you can't give the other side of it, which is, really getting off, getting stuck, getting close, making life difficult for the opposition. Okay, falling to the penalty here, and Josh King back for it. One of the Newcastle defenders, Fernandez, gone down, holding his face. King bumped into him. So we've got another stoppage in play. And I don't know if you're Eddie Howe, who's assistant Chelsea, I just don't know what you take out. Not only this game, but the 3 games they played, because there was very little to go at before it here. Like you said, the defending has been poor, Matt. They're not getting shots on goal. So if you let them in one end and not score in the other, they're obviously not going to give up. There's still 6 games to go. The other teams around them aren't winning, but you just can't see where they're going to get a win. You can't. Like the only saving grace, you're like, none of those 6 games remaining after this one are against relegation rivals. Another goal at the Emirates Stadium, Emma Saunders.
Another one for Pierre Emerick Aubameyang. First Premier League goal. Lovely finish. Once again, a bit of a mistake from the Norwich defence, but once more,
If it is not useful, leave it alone.
3, Norwich City nil.
21 points. We're talking about Bournemouth's woes. Aston Villa yet to win since the restart. 2 points from 4 games. They have managed a couple of draws. They're on 27. And just stick to the inside, just celebrating that Aubameyang second. I know that's really going to annoy Chris Sutton because of our fantasy statistics podcast on the way at the end of the week. I brought Aubameyang in. Fancy him against Norwich. Not move, made him my captain. And that's good news. So I know Chris will be sheltering. That podcast will be available via the BBC Sound app for you on Friday as we look ahead. The next round of fixtures, the Football Daily will be there for you tomorrow morning to round up everything that has gone on today. And also that news, of course, that Wigan has gone into administration. Points reduction will be added at the end of the season. Were it to be 12 points at the moment, though, they will be all the way down to the bottom of the table, 2 points behind Luton, playing well at the moment. Really tough news for them. Is that case, good call out about Lloyd Kelly. He's defeated Lerma. Here's Harry Wilson on loan from the champion, Liverpool. Bournemouth in the division on loan here this season. So Andy, he's kind of looking, you know, when he's kind of looking. No, and when he has had the ball, it hasn't been of the top quality that we need, and the creativity just hasn't been there. I think we touched on earlier, the wide areas has been key here at home. There's always been front pages down the flank, a good link-up play, but they haven't been able to get down the side either. Here's Lloyd Kelly playing to the left. So Stanislas is playing wide left now, and come on. Louis Wilson's on the right. Solanke and King are the 2 through the middle. Bournemouth 0, Newcastle 3. Arsenal 3 up on Norwich. The left is going to find back against Everton. Went 2-0 down early on. It's 2-1. Better from Bournemouth. Smith runs into trouble. Tackled by Benny for left. Can't find Joel into the on the field. Carrying back for Bournemouth.
I give us the way to the top.
Just sort of the halfway line. Speak of Alan Smith. Bournemouth away at Manchester United. It's at 3 o'clock commentary Saturday afternoon on 5 Live this weekend. Lazaro to Shelby. Joelinton, another space on the left here as Shelby can see. There's 2 of them out there, Almiron and Joelinton. Now Joelinton is able to run at Steve Cook. He's into the penalty area. He's just taking it beyond him. That's 4. And Steve Cook is able to intercept. Couldn't find Andy Carroll to pass. I wonder if that's it for Joelinton. He stays sitting down, maybe. That will be the end of
Oh, time for some yarn find. Ah. Get what I say, doing that.
Not to the field.
Totally lost count the amount of stuff that has come on. I better check that because once you reach the 5, obviously that is that. So free kick Bournemouth. Wilson with his arm in the air, curls it into the penalty area, hit it out to the edge of the box. Lewis Cook chests it down, shot deflected just wide and behind for a corner. Lewis Cook yet to score for Bournemouth. This is 81st appearance. So that's Canard. Carroll is on, Hayden is on.
Oh, match day, come on, dinner time.
Almiron is on. Newcastle can no longer make any more substitutions. Well done. Thank you. I think you're going to be from the home score and went to get on. So I just left that one to you, mate. Corner, the Bournemouth. Harry Wilson. chasing back. All the way back. The goalkeeper Dan Gosling, former Newcastle man, is waiting to come on. What do you feel Eddie Howe has to say after this? I don't know what he can say really about the Bournemouth performance. Ball dropping down midway inside that Newcastle half. Isaac Hayden with his first shot, spins and clears. Andy Carroll making a real nuisance of himself, just using his body to hold off Ake. Newcastle has given it away. His foot. Took out wide for Wilson. Can watch the challenge of Yedlin. Got away from him. Sprints to keep the ball in play on the right-hand side. Wilson has Shelby in front of him. Wilson's now crossing to the far post. Shelby on that. Josh Kingham behind for a goal kick to Newcastle. Madison, just a fraction too high, that ball from Harry Wilson. Cutting someone to his left foot nicely. It's really nice flow ball towards the back line, but it's just probably a couple of inches too high. Maybe Solanke just gets in too early. He's got to hold his run. So he's coming onto the ball as opposed to adjusting to it in mid-air. Dan Gosling comes on for Jefferson Lerma. Lost cause, you have to say. I mean, if Bournemouth get anything out of this, just over 15 minutes to play, it would be an absolute miracle. Trailing by 3 goals to 0. There's a match of the day on tomorrow night, which will cover all the sort of latest round of the Premier League fixtures. So that will include the 2 commentaries on 5 Live tomorrow night. Sheffield United, Tottenham at 6 o'clock, Manchester City, Liverpool at 8:15. Match of the day will be on BBC One later on in the evening. And there's 4 more commentaries on 5 Live on Sunday. 4 games back to back. So if you love your football on the radio, 5 Live the place to be on Sunday. Burnley, Sheffield United is midday. Newcastle in action again at home to West Ham at 2:15. Liverpool against Aston Villa at 4:30. Southampton, Manchester City at 7 o'clock. Another goal in the Birmingham Huddersfield game. Go on over it. Well, Birmingham City 0, Huddersfield Town 3. Extraordinary turn of events, and it's Elias Kachunga who scored it here. They haven't won, they haven't got a point since the resumption, and yet here they are, leading Birmingham 3-0. I'll tell you what, Birmingham on 49 points, completely out of form, hopelessly out of form, so they have to start watching their back in this mad championship scramble. Birmingham 0, Huddersfield 3. I'm not sure anyone's crazy enough to try and predict the bottom 3, because it reminds me of a fascinating end to the season. In the championship at both ends of the table. Matt Upson's been on his feet for the entire second half here. We've got 15 minutes to play. Nothing has really changed. Bournemouth made a slightly brighter start to the second half. Harry Wilson, David Brooks, clipped the bar with a left-footed effort. Newcastle got their third through Almiron. The ball is with Aaron Ramsdale, the Bournemouth keeper. Picks it up, bowls it out with his right arm to Adam Smith, the right back. Played into Lewis Cook, who's a short, stocky figure in central midfield. To Bournemouth, Yedlin, across to Lazaro, back to Isaac Hayden. Again, every time Newcastle look up, there's a player in space. Somebody give the ball to. Hayden's lost it though. Solanke, support on the left-hand side from Stanislas, goes in a low, knocked off the ball by Hayden. No free kick, and just looks in vain at Kevin Trent. Lovely 1-2 between Shelby and Andy Carroll. Run from Lazaro. Onside, says the assistant referee. It's 4-0. Valentino Lazaro has finished that beautifully. The 1-2 between Shelby and Carroll was perfect. And then the lay through to Lazaro put him in on goal. He's made no mistake. And Newcastle are absolutely hammering Bournemouth. Bournemouth 0, Newcastle 4. Well, it's going to start to become damage limitation, or whether or not we've actually surpassed that point for Bournemouth. It's just getting worse and worse and then worse. It's a really well worked goal, you have to say that. It's a slick 1-2 with Andy Carroll and Shelby, but it's a lovely timed run from Lazaro. He's starting on the right-hand side. Shelby's driving through with the ball. He doesn't see the run behind him. I don't think there's any communication from Lloyd Kelly to tell him that Lazaro's coming across. And it's just a cheeky little left-footed dink over the diving body of Ramsdale. It's just, again, another goal. They're very similar, aren't they? Very, very good goals. So it's just too easy. The assistant referee was just checking on the offside decision. The flag stayed down. The call was spot on. Lazaro was onside. I'm just now starting to scroll through Bournemouth's results this season. This is going to have to be one of the worst defeats and worst performances of the season, when they needed the exact opposite, trailing 4-0 at home to Newcastle. Aaron Ramsdale takes a touch inside his 6-yard box to keep Newcastle players closing in. They don't consider 5th or even a possible 6th. You can see it though. You can see it maybe now. Lazaro bringing it forward, 25 yards.
scrambled it. Oh, what a miss! An incredible miss from a couple of yards out from Isaac Hayden with the entire goal at his mercy. Lazzaro's shot came back off the bar, it hit Ramsdale, it fell perfectly for Hayden, and somehow he spooned it over the bar, it stays 4-0.
I mean, just look at the time and space that Lazzaro has. The ball pops out to him. The Bournemouth back four about 15 metres away from him. He has another touch, and thinks, OK, I'm going to smash one. And what a strike off the crossbar.
Almiron on the left, crossing in towards Andy Carroll. Headed chance has gone well wide. This could be any number.
They cannon down and hit Ramsdale. He didn't hit Ramsdale and went in the net, did it? You know, it was a really good strike, straight down off the crossbar onto the goalkeeper.
Well, Chris Metham is coming on, saying that he's a centre-back at Welsh International. Steve Cook is coming off, so it's not sort of adding extra defensive numbers, it is just making a change, it is just doing something. It's desperate for Bournemouth at the moment. I mean, this has been awful for them tonight. By the way, the other thing I didn't even consider, Matt, they've now dropped behind Aston Villa in the bottom three on goals because they've conceded the four. So, and as tight as it is, you know, you've got three teams on 27 at the moment, one on 20. It could come down to that as well.
Absolutely. I mean, it's the goal difference. It could well be crucial.
Bournemouth nil, Newcastle 4. Arsenal leading Norwich 3-0. Everton and Leicester is still tight. 2-1 to Everton. They got those 2 goals early. Ian Acho's got one back in the second half. Huddersfield are moving out of the bottom 3 in the Championship because they're winning 3-0 at Birmingham. Derby are just a point off the top 6 after their 1-0 win at Preston. Forest 1 up on Bristol City to solidify their place in that top 6. Sheffield Wednesday, West Brom to come. Adam Smith down the line towards Josh King. King, great turn, trying to get away from Yedlin, who is back and snapping at his heels. King is now looking for support. Adam Smith inside the penalty area to his left. Straight back here to Harry Wilson. Why not have a shot? Wilson will do that, deflected behind for a corner. Before Bournemouth take that, let's quickly get to the Emirates Stadium. Emma Saunders.
Arsenal still 3 goals up here. That Bamian goal killed us well off, really. Barker sat there, kind of rubbing his chin for a bit, wondering what to do. There's been a double sub, so Cantwell has been replaced by Stephen and Rupp with Branchett, so it's not really made a huge difference. By contrast, Arsenal looking very comfortable, and I think we can certainly expect they're going to get all 3 points out of it. It's Arsenal 3, Norwich 0.
Thank you, Emma. Bournemouth pressing from the corner, couldn't turn it into anything. A couple of good balls in from Harry Wilson, has been dealt with. Almiron on the dribble. Are Newcastle going to get a fifth? Shelby looking for that first time ball with his left foot. Clever idea as well to try and sort of play Isaac Hayden into the channel. He just slightly overhit it.
Sees it early, Shelby, doesn't he? It's one of his key assets. I said it early, he really does see an early pass.
Just looking at these Bournemouth results, just sort of scrolling down and looking for any hammerings this season. 4-0 they lost away to West Ham on New Year's Day. They lost 3-0 at home to Watford. I saw that one actually. They were very poor that day, well beaten. Lost 3-0 at Burnley. This is a bad one, really bad one for Eddie Howe and Bournemouth. It's one that really makes you despair for their chances of staying up. We're into the last 10 minutes of the first half. We're also sitting in one of those empty stadiums where there's probably quite a lot of Bournemouth officials connected to the club. You can probably hear what I'm saying, but I don't think you can argue with it.
This is the truth.
Thank you.
You're not making it up. It really has been that bad. It's very difficult to shine a positive light.
Yeah.
And you know, I'm struggling to find a positive part of this performance.
Nathan Ake on the ball for Bournemouth. Newcastle has slowed it down, sitting off at the moment. And it really should be 5 because Isaac Hayden has missed one of the sitters of the season. Ball's high in the air inside the Newcastle box. Solanke underneath. Nods it down to Lewis Cook. Cook tries to push another pass down to Harry Wilson and tells Harry Wilson to go and chase it. Wilson to turn his back.
You notice those balls that he put back in position, that when we had that 90-minute break with the referee after the goalkeeper to go and move, just sitting there again. It's just so strange that, wasn't it? What was that about?
I wonder, the only thing I wonder, Matt, is whether they've not been clean last time or something like that. I don't know, you're right, they're sitting there on the 2 cones behind Aaron Ramsdale's goal to the left and right. For some reason they have to be moved early in the second half. Who's spotted? 8 minutes to play, second half. Almost 4-0 down at home to Newcastle. Bentaleb shadows the ball back, plays it to Fernandez. Bentaleb to Yedlin. Yedlin, one of the 5 subs used by Steve Bruce. Bentaleb clears with his left foot. To Andy Carroll. Carroll on the turn inside the Bournemouth half. Going to go for a long diagonal ball. Lloyd Kelly will deal with it. Another goal
at the Emirates Stadium. Emma Saunders.
Another one for Arsenal. Shame no one's here to see Ali, because what a way that would have been to announce himself for the Emirates. Cedric Suarez on his Arsenal debut, bullet from distance. The look on his face, not sure he can believe it either. Arsenal 4, Norwich 0.
4-0 there, 4-0 to Newcastle here. Bournemouth on the attack. Stanislav cutting in from the left, drives a shot across goal, deflected behind for a corner. Quickly to Goodison Park, Juliet Berrington.
10 minutes for Everton to hold on to this 2-1 lead they have against Leicester here at Goodison Park. It's been all Leicester since the second half, largely thanks to James Maddison and Iniacho coming on to their substitutions into this game. Iniacho got Leicester back into this one. He's also shot wide of the crossbar since he scored. Michael Keane, though, he's been the talking point. What a goal line clearance from him. The ball slipped through Jordan Pickford's fingers. The ball coming in for him simply to gather. Absolute shocker. Keane was there to boot the ball inches off the line. Everton 2, Leicester 1.
Half a chance for Bournemouth there. Corner floated in to the far post.
Still no shots on target.
No, nodded back across goal, wasn't it, by Gosling? Blanky didn't have much time to react, came off his head and went flying over the crossbar. So, wow, 4-0. No shots on target. Should have been 5. Hayden missing the sitter. Lazaro crashed one against the crossbar. Here's Andy Carroll. Going to muscle his way down the left. Harry Wilson clears with his record. It's like miscue by Fernandez. Josh King was able to get onto it. Play back to Harry Wilson. Wilson trying to open things up for Bournemouth. Sprays his pass across field. Can Roy Kelly use his pace to get there? He can. That's brilliant. He slides down and hooks it with his left foot to keep the ball in play. It's to Stanislav. In turn, passes back to Lewis Cook. 30 yards out. Not a good pass from Cook. Almiron intercepts. Dribbling back towards his own goal. He darts in and out of 2 Bournemouth challenges. Good pace as well to get away down the left. He pulled down. Much in that.
Thought the fouls in there.
Naughty that, wasn't it?
I mean, really good defensive work from Almiron, and as he tries to run around the outside of King, I think he might have just put an arm on him, and he really has used that gone down and won the free kick. Although there wasn't too much complaint from Josh King. I would have been fuming with that.
Yeah.
It looked like a dice to me.
I think he's exaggerated the contact there, the kindest way we can put it.
Yeah.
Miguel Almiron should know better than that. We've got a close-up of Eddie Howe at the moment, and as you can expect, it's a grim face. Set in stone, just staring blankly across the pitch of the Vitality Stadium. His team 4-0 down. Again, an excellent Newcastle performance. The Bournemouth just not at the races at all today. Here's Bentaleb. Bentaleb plays back to the edge of the penalty area. To Barapia, the Newcastle keeper. Across to Lascelles. Lascelles with his right foot down that right-hand touchline. Foul from Kelly on Lazaro. Are we heading back to City now for another update on Nottingham Forest, Bristol City? I think I've forgotten to do that. Aaron Paul, you there?
I am. Welcome back. Forest on Bristol City 0. Forest, of course, still leading through that sumptuous Thiago Silva free kick. Lee Johnson has responded by bringing leading scorer from Argieju onto the field of play. Moments of quality, however, have been few and far between, so I've taken to people watching. I've noticed that there's a lot of executives. There's a lot of people it takes to run a football club, and they're all very vociferous. They love a good shout. Forest, as it stands, well, they're going to be shouting tonight. They'll be heading into 4th. They lead here 5 goals to nil.
Thank you, Aaron. Yeah, Nottingham Forest going above Fulham on goal difference. Nathan Ake inside his own half. We're cutting out time here, aren't we? That's really important. Absolutely. Just got to make sure it doesn't get any worse. Newcastle just want to save a bit of energy. And West Ham actually have got to go to Newcastle on Sunday, which they will not be looking forward to. They're playing Chelsea tonight. Just above Bournemouth on goal difference. Well, above Villa now, actually. The Bournemouth dropped below Villa on goal difference. Here's Stanislav. Stanislav with a little flip to Gosling. Back to Stanislav. Can't get onto the return ball. Lazaro. Have a trick from him. Knocks it round Kelly. Puts it up the other side. Plays it back to Emil Kraft. Newcastle's right back this evening onto Bentaleb. Very controlled in midfield. Here's Fernandez. Forward to Almiron. Nepomore came through the back of him. Fired towards Carroll. Almiron dubbing the pass forward. Could find Shelby through the middle here. Shelby's not got the pace to get it slightly over him.
He missed the opportunity, Almiron. It was just before then he needed to hit it early. Shelby had a little bit of space. You're right, not kind of got the pace to outrun anyone, but there was enough space to hit the ball in, and Almiron just didn't see early enough.
Just a reminder again as well, Newcastle on to 42 points. Their goal difference goes to -9, which is the same as Crystal Palace's.
So that will actually go to goals scored. 4 tonight. Newcastle with 29. They've now got 33. Palace 12 plus 16 is 28. That's actually maths on the go in the commentary. Newcastle better than Palace on that front, so up to 11 this evening with the win. 90 seconds plus added time to be played here. Newcastle leading 4-0. Bournemouth still trying, you give them that. They are still pushing to try and get a goal at the end of this game.
The Newcastle midfield three have done well. I think they've really pressed the ball. Benson has had a good game, won a lot of balls back, very solid and consistent with their passing.
Free kick Bournemouth. 40 yards from goal. Stanislas takes with his right foot, moves it high in the air. Dubravka stays on his right. Heading back to the net, they almost posted it in. There's a foul in there. Bournemouth had the ball in the back of the net. Flag was up. Free kick for Newcastle. Actually, Matt, I mean, it's one of those, that kind of performance tonight, where we were saying at the start of the night, the Bournemouth needed the fans with them to try and get them going. Actually, now they're probably grateful they're not here, because they'd have taken some stick today.
It would be an interesting atmosphere if the Bournemouth fans had been in this stadium to watch this performance. I don't know how that would have gone, to be honest.
Wednesday nightclub to follow. There'll be updates for West Ham, Chelsea, Bournemouth fans, Newcastle fans. We'd love your thoughts. 85058 on the text. And at 5 Live Sport. 5 the number. Words Live Sport. Follow that. Get in touch with Steve Crossman on social media. Throwing for Newcastle on the left. Added time about to be announced here at the stadium. Andre Yedlin, the American international, waiting to take the throw. And fourth official Tim Robinson to 5 minutes within 5 minutes. Josh King. Well, so Bournemouth could score 4 in 5 minutes. It's on the turnaround. Here's Stanislas. Finds Gosling. Gosling 30 yards out. Rolls it for Wilson on the left foot. Curling drive. Bravely headed in the air by Fernandez over his own bar. Corner for Bournemouth.
He's done that 3 or 4 times, hasn't he, Harry Wilson? He loves coming onto that left foot. It's a little bit predictable, I have to say, but he does manufacture the space, and he's got the left foot that's capable of a really good delivery or shot.
Corner which Harry Wilson will take with that left foot. Low into the near post. Attempted diving header from Gosling. Beaten to it by Yedlin. He took a whack and he's hurt his left arm there, Dan Gosling. Pulls out for a throw in to Bournemouth. And added time. Bournemouth dropping to 19th place. Norwich also getting hammered this evening. They look like they're going down. Bournemouth in deep trouble. Norwich 21. Bournemouth 27. Villa 27. West Ham 27. West Ham playing Chelsea tonight. Lewis Cook takes a quick throw for Bournemouth. Back into his own half. Here's Mepham. Mepham runs past Andy Carroll. Crosses the halfway line. Long, high, lofty pass across the field to the left to Kelly. Kelly back to Stanislas. To Gosling, plays the 1-2 with Stanislas. Hayden slides in to intercept it towards Andy Carroll. Carroll on the turn. A lovely, low, fizzing pass out to Almiron. Almiron is running at Adam Smith, looking for options inside here. Where's the support? Comes from Andy Carroll. Low pass to Shelby, back to Carroll. Drives it hard, what a save from Ramsdale behind for a corner. What a goal that would have been, by the way.
Well, that would have just topped off the Newcastle performance, wouldn't it? I mean, lovely move, Almiron. 1-2, and Carroll coming onto the ball, which, like you say, originally was a lovely set-up from him with a fizz pass, but strikes it with his left foot and earns the corner for Newcastle.
I don't know if Steve Bruce could hear us there, but he's having a right old chat with Steve Bruce. I think he probably sounds a little bit like watching Barcelona. Shelby stands the corner up, good keeping from Ramsdale. There wasn't much pace on that. He came early and grabbed it with both hands. Carroll's yet to score for Newcastle since his return, but that was great to watch.
They've enjoyed themselves, haven't they? They've played the game in a manner where you can tell they're enjoying themselves, and that says everything about Bournemouth's performance, because for the opposition to come to your stadium and enjoy playing like they have just shows you that there's something wrong.
2.5 minutes to play until this miserable night for Bournemouth will be over. They've got to go to Old Trafford on Saturday. 3 o'clock commentary on 5 Live, and I know they will have watched, they obviously will have watched what Manchester United did to Brighton last night, the way they're playing. So that's worrying. That is worrying for Bournemouth. It's worrying for the Bournemouth fans. Here's Nathan Ake. Ake with his left foot. Side foot to the pass. Gosling. There's a 1-2 here. Lewis Cook continues to bring it forward. Foul. Free kick Bournemouth. Inside the Newcastle half. And they at least find something, a goal.
end of this game. The Newcastle players come jogging back. Andy Carroll's got a sense of duties to do. Serious man out on the field. They're all lined up on the edge of the penalty area. Arsenal leading Norwich 4-0. Everton 2, Leicester 1. Free kick taken into the far post. Ake heads it beyond Dubravka, and it's stuck home by Dan Gosling. Gosling gets a toe on the ball. Bournemouth finally have a goal in added time. It won't make any difference to the result. This has still been a hammering for them tonight, but they finally have a goal. Bournemouth 1, Newcastle 4.
You don't think the comeback on?
I don't.
No?
No, you're not having it.
You're squashing it down, yeah. Okay. No, I think you're right, but just wait to sleep a little bit, Newcastle. Then they did handle the set piece. Andy Carroll doesn't quite defend it properly. Ake, in fairness to him, does quite well, gets his head on it. You know, it's a scrappy goal, but Bournemouth is still chipping away. You have to say that's the only positive thing you can really look at.
They've kept going. They're trailing 4-1. We're deep in added time. We'll check in at Goodison Park, and Kevin Bridges checking in that the goal will stand, and it does. 4-1 Newcastle. Here's Julia.
Where Everton still lead Leicester 2-1. We're into 6 minutes of added time. We've got around 3 minutes remaining of this, and Leicester are severely chasing down an equaliser. And it could have been an equaliser had it not been for Michael Keane's goal line clearance after an absolute howler from George Pickford in the second half. They've done better in terms of organisation, Everton, than they have been at the start of the second, dealing with this Leicester City side. But Leicester desperate to get a point at least from this match. Everton hanging on to all three right now. It's still Everton 2, Leicester 1.
John Joe Shelby, can he find a fifth for Newcastle? Crowded out. He had an option to his right and Almiron. He fancied it himself. He's tackled on the edge of the box. Chelsea at West Ham tonight. If Chelsea win the game, they will go third on 57 points, and Leicester drop to fourth on 55. The full-time whistle blows at the Vitality Stadium, and that has been an incredibly depressing and painful evening for Eddie Howe and Bournemouth Football Club. Outplayed, outperformed, outclassed by Newcastle. They've got a consolation goal at the end of the game, but the goal difference has taken a hammering, and it really does look difficult for them at the moment to rescue themselves from this desperate situation. Dwight Gale got it off to a flying start for Newcastle after a Bournemouth mistake at the back. Sean Longstaff got the second. 2 more in the second half from Almiron and Valentino Lazaro, and Newcastle have run out the house and very, very comfortable winners.
Well, I think the bad thing is that you can add outwork to that list as well, which is the most damaging one for Bournemouth. I think, you know, with this type of performance, you can sometimes have off days or not play well, but they just haven't looked like they've had the appetite to go on and win this football match. Right from the off, it was very clear that it wasn't going to be their day. Where they go to keep themselves back up, a huge chance for Eddie Howe.
Body language so telling, so obviously telling, and it's an obvious point to make as the two sets of players come off the field. You can see, although there's no fans inside the stadium, the Bournemouth players couldn't bring themselves to lift their heads. I think they're embarrassed by what's happened there tonight. And the Newcastle players, quite rightly, chest puffed out. Steve Bruce is there congratulating every one of them. That's absolutely Bournemouth's worst performance and worst defeat this season. All absolutely, because Newcastle looked like they could have played another 45 minutes. That's how comfortable they were in the ball, out of possession. They were just enjoying themselves. And when you come to somebody else to play with you, you're quite good at walking off the pitch. You know it's been doing it. 6 games to go for Bournemouth. The next 4 away to Manchester United, at home to Tottenham, at home to Leicester, away to Manchester City. They are in real trouble. Bournemouth 1, Newcastle 4. More with Ali and Matt in a second, but it's finished at the Emirates. Dennis Order.
Norwich 6-0 and they're comfortable return to their home in North London.
Do you think this goes all the way to the top?
Never season enough.
Glasgow after 7 was well organised, confident, composed, far expelled the following Norwich
Something
start.
strange with We're heading into danger.
Do not concern yourself with what might be. Focus on what is, and be vigilant.
Norwich,
Yes, sir.
I did their best, I suppose, with a makeshift defence and feel like a confidence anyway, but there were 6 points from safety, still without a goal.
Not the top,
February,
but we're closer.
and 4 more conceded. Arsenal 4, Norwich 0.
Have Everton hung on at Goodison, Juliet Ferrington?
Oh, they have, but they hung on, and they hung on, and they hung on. As their unbeaten start continued since football return, but they were, as I say, hanging on for most of the second half after a pretty comfortable 2-0 first half lead. They've beaten Leicester 2-1.
It was all Leicester after that. Madison and Iniacho came off the bench in the second half. It made such a difference. Iniacho getting Leicester back in it with the messiest of goals. And Jordan picked up the gifted of an equaliser with a shocker that needed a goal line clearance from Michael Keane to save him. Everton dealt with Leicester better towards the end of the game, but it was so uncomfortable, and Leicester for sure will be disappointed with that. They remain down to win since the restart. Everton reaching a massive sigh of relief. Everton 2, Leicester 1.
Updates to come of West Ham against Chelsea in the Premier League, which gets underway in about 20 minutes' time. In the Championship, a huge win for Huddersfield at Birmingham. Johnson over it.
A tunnel boy.
Very interesting, doesn't it? Birmingham City 0, Huddersfield Town 3,
Vortex.
Grant from the penalty spot in the first half, Campbell and Kachunga in the second half. They also missed a penalty. Birmingham toothless. The chances they had were all based on in the first half. They were fluffed. If the fans were here to see it, I think the Blues would be booed off, to be honest. 49 points, Birmingham, and this marks the complacency tonight. And 49 points, well,
That is not helping.
Table security.
See you on the other side.
Lockdown. Now, nothing can be taken for granted. It's precarious. Birmingham, maybe even Reading, start watching your back, because the way the teams down the bottom are picking up points, anything is possible with training championship teams. It's finished Birmingham 0, Huddersfield 3. And we've got Hull in 22nd by the tomorrow night. Are they still playing the sixth round, Aaron Paul?
They are, there is 7 added on minutes. It's corresponding Bristol City. They'll probably look on another defender in the shape of Michael Dawson. And experience trying to see out what could be a massive 3 points in the race for the Premier League is. Thiago Silva's free kick that separates these two sides. Bristol City throwing everything to the Forest goal. We are a minute in to added time as the Phobe heads over once again. It is still Nottingham Forest 1, Bristol City 0.
Thank you very much, Aaron. We will keep you up to date with everything that's going on in the Premier League and in the Championship tonight on 5 Live Sport. Let's get back to the Vitality Stadium then, shall we, where Bournemouth have been hammered by Newcastle United. Aaron Bruce Ball and Matt Upton are there. Matt, there's always a moment in the season when a team gets relegated and you look at their last few seasons and go, oh, that's where they went down. This didn't feel like that.
Completely. It's exactly how it felt. It felt that from the start. How doing his first after the game. The look on his face really does say it all. It's very morbid. It's just a lack of anything. It's hard to step back and pick out a positive part of Bournemouth's performance. There just wasn't one.
Newcastle, though, I mean, I've already had messages from two Newcastle fans upset at the fact that I asked whether or not they'll struggle to hold on to Alan Saint-Maximin. And I know he wasn't the only good performer in what was a brilliant display, but it's just so much fun.
He's superb to watch, isn't he? I mean, we've spoken quite a bit about him in the first half and the impact that he had, but he's exciting. He can take contact and tackle so well and stay on his feet and still manipulate the ball. You know, you can give it to him in a phone box and he'll just find his way out. That's how I describe him. He's just cheeky and tricky, but the trick is calm in the final moments now. He can get his head up, he can pick a pass or choose a finish, and he makes good choices with the ball.
Well, I mean, I have not seen Newcastle live that much this season. My sort of schedule of games has not taken me to see them, but I was just so impressed, not just with him, but every part of it. Very solid to the back, they weren't really challenged there. But John Joe Shelby doing exactly what he does in central midfield, just picking the passes and running the game. Ben Tillett looks like a fantastic signing on loan for Shelby, because he was a great passer there. Just the obvious Almiron didn't start, there were 6 changes today. It just looks really encouraging.
Good energy.
When you get to the sun,
Came off the bench.
how far do you think we'll be able to see? The lake? The world serpent? Our house?
We will see when we get there. Until then, eyes open.
Try and put pressure on them, receiving the ball from the goalkeeper or the centre back, and it paid off very early in the game.
Whoa!
Atreus,
I'm fine. Just lost my balance for a minute. You know, this one's so strong. It shouldn't very loud.
it serves me well, and how I keep us alive.
Yes. Not a terrible fun way to live.
They get excited from his little rant early on. Yeah, that was it. Yeah, we knew it's going to be a little bit of an excited answer. Yeah, but the point is, I don't think anyone could argue with it. The two teams, so controlled.
so much to take issue with it at all. Newcastle look a really good outfit, and Bournemouth, we hate to say it, anyway, look like a championship outfit in waiting. Yeah, and we'll be reflecting on that on the Wednesday nightclub very shortly. Ali Bruce, Matt Upson, thank you very much. So Bournemouth in real trouble at the bottom of the Premier League table with some awfully difficult games to come. West Brom looking to get back up into the Premier League. Their game is underway at Sheffield Wednesday. Vicky Fox.
Goalless, 14 and a half minutes left to Savon finish. I have made 5 changes for him. Take them out of his run at 4-4. Wednesday with a better opportunity in this opening 14 minutes. Rome, Wickham and Harris also are better. Not a mistake on the surface finish for West Brom going to automatic promotion. Sheffield Wednesday, 6.3 relegation zone, but that EFL mistake up here over 11 weeks.
How was that for fun?
It's still ongoing. Now, if they hit their ground rules, they could end up with sort of points deduction. And now for Wednesday, bring as much distance as possible between them and the bottom 3 remains imperative. So this match important for them as well. Goalless so far, 50 minutes played.
And we'll have more updates from Vicky in the Wednesday nightclub. We'll also hear from John Southall, who's at West Brom Chelsea for us. So we'll have all the latest from the games in the Premier League and the Championship. We'll reflect on those stories. We've got guests like we've got Castle Rose manager, Darren Moore, we've got Ian Barrett as well.
Definitely.
The head coach and new head coach of Northern Ireland.
Yes, I'll be ready.
Stephen Warner and Ben Haynes from 90 Min with me on Firelight for after the latest knowledge. Has been announced in the UK in the past 48 hours. The basic companies, including sandwich chain Upper Crust, which is cutting 5,000 posts in the management consulting firm, which is shedding 900 workers. They needed fast enough to react to possible spikes in infection. The Parliament suggests the UK has an upshot of the severe due to treatment with COVID-19. The United States called nearly all the spikes for the next 3 months.
Stuck again.
Officials say the UK secured supplies in advance. Up to 3 million Hong Kong residents will be offered the chance to settle in the UK. This after China introduced new national security laws on the territory. The Foreign Secretary, Dominic Raab, says many of those affected by the changes were British national overseas passport holders, or BNOs.
We will grant BNOs 5 years limited leave to remain with the right to work or study. After these 5 years, they'll be able to apply for settled status.
It would seem.
And after a further 12 months with settled status, they will be able to apply for citizenship.
After we scattered the mother's ashes,
police in Hong Kong have arrested 370 people
Nothing comes next.
against the introduction
We
of
go
these laws.
home.
that's it.
Police have begun a murder inquiry after a 5-year-old
For
girl
now.
found stabbed in
But
Mitcham
we
in
will
South
have much to
London.
do.
She was found with a
You know where
35-year-old
to
woman
live.
accused in a
I'll
criminal
no doubt
condition
cutting down the
of
last tree.
Polls
You
were
said
closed
it
in
felt like
Russia after a
something had
referendum
changed.
on constitutional
And it has.
changes as
And
expected
our
to
home
extend
is no
president
longer
Putin's
safe.
rule until
But it will
2036.
be again.
Initial figures from
And
the
we
Electoral
must
Commission
continue
suggest
our training.
70% of voters passed the changes. Here to bet the 5-light score on PC Sound with Tailenders.
Snail Menders. No.
Where he's trying to bowl out his swing, but he was going the other way, but he's not the right hander. He said to Brody, he's like, after about 30 years, I
Nothing's gonna
realised
stop us.
Calm yourself, boy, and stay behind me.
He had the biggest influence on me as a person. He never allowed any player to get away with any form of indiscipline, got his standards, that's why he needs to
Very, very ready. still delicious perfectly placed into the top left corner. Both sides offered a little else in the game, little with stoppages and injuries. Bristol City's actually Williams just showed a red card late on, following on from coming together with Yuri right there. But the facts don't make pretty reading for the Robins. 1 win in 10, just 5 points picked up from a possible 30 since February, and with significant level of investment in not just the squad but the infrastructure around the football club. You do wonder if change is on the horizon at Ashton Gate. Not the best running for it, they won't mind. It's super clear from the director's box at the final whistle. The Tricky Trees, they're up to 4th. They've beaten Bristol City here 5-0.
Thank you, Aaron, and very warm welcome to the Wednesday nightclub.
I was aiming for his eyes, but I kept losing my foot. Do you think this is their home? Did they move in after the Giants left? Or are they why the Giants?
Boy, they have no staying here. No more questions.
Next season, we'll talk about Arsenal signing the prize back into the continued absence of Mesut Ozil. We've got guests as well. Doncaster Rovers got Darren Moore with us. The new Northern Ireland head coach Ian Barraclough will be on the programme. So with me until 10:30. Ben Haynes from 90 Min and Stephen Warner. Good evening, guys.
Sounds like someone's screaming.
Yeah, Steve. All right. Good evening. Evening. And Cliff Morrison, who seems to be struggling with his Zoom. You're right there, Cliff.
No, my Zoom's fine. You just want me to change it, but I'm not changing it. I'm doing my own practice, so my Zoom is fine. Because I'm in a different room today, that's why I'm going to watch the Chelsea game. But I feel like you're in the corridor. I know, I really don't like sit there like chilling. Oh yeah, because I'm so close because of the cameraman.
Someone to tell you what the difference between landscape and portrait is. I just saw you hurrying around. I wasn't really sure what was going on.
You're not close to you, don't worry about that. Okay, mate. I know.
85558 at 5 Stadium as well. Massive game for playing team, West Ham, Chelsea, the team news with John Sapp.
Tony Abraham makes his first restart. West Ham starting next to James Van Noble as a starter. He's not risk tonight. Manuel Lanzini replaces him. Angelo O'Connor comes in for Tony Abraham at centre half. Firstly, it's a tall order for West Ham tonight. It's a different proposition without fans inside the stadium. Normally this game is not the case. No lot of the defensive fans is prepared. West Ham has lost that 12-man advantage. So it should come down to the better side winning. And at the moment, Chelsea by an absolute three. West Ham scoring at the end of this game as a possible 3 points when they look at their remaining fixtures. But they've got to start winning. They've got to start winning. What will it be in the last 11? The problem is that they cannot get into like always like doing in the bottom line.
If they were to win, if West Ham were to win, they would move up to 30 points, which would take them 3 points clear together in 8 points. Stephen, we keep talking about relegating French teams and asking, what player is going to fight for you this afternoon? Not having Mark Noble is a massive
You're looking around and you think you've got celebration of the real, but you look at the team around and you think, you've got to score goals, you've got to create goals, and that's what you need when you're down the bottom. Yes, you need tough characters as well, you can dig in and sort of grind the results out of these players. You need someone who's going to be able to create something that is good for you, a great big team. And I look at Antonio playing up front. It's incredible that he's only able to score practical freedoms for his club. And you think, what? I mean, if he'd be able to play up front, he's got the day to play. Take the ball and get it travel. So it's throw in the corners and possibly score some set pieces. And is that what you're going to cling your Premier League hopes to?
Steve Bree, live on 5 Live Sport with George Curry.
Yeah, thanks very much, Steve. Steve has just made a great jump from the front row into front of me. Now, Steve, you've had some big wins this season, so where does that compare? That must be one of the best performances.
You've got best performance. Where we moved
team, considering all the 14 days so long may continue well. So he is going, which is always good.
What have you done to your players in lockdown to bring on this good form?
Come back in really good nick, which was vitally important. And that's the kind of group they are. President from day one, not just we could push them because they're ready. And I think the change systems from forward back, from 5 to the back to the forward back, it helps everybody. I think we can do
Are you okay? I have a plan. Be ready to lower the crane on my mark. I do not care. Be ready.
What do you feel the most about performance today?
The whole thing was to come here, and let's be fair, we had a few more too. Every time we were up and cover it back. We knew what hair out of like to do, but we had the confidence to play around them and play through them. And as I said, some of the stuff, some of the goals.
A nice partnership brewing there amongst everybody.
I'm delighted, devastated for Sean to the house today. Just playing on the front, play further forward. As we said from the start, and you will say this is what 14 with them basically as predicted. You know, you do much for the top fit, but unfortunately when they won't hit this one, it's less than half an hour then you play.
What's the target for this season?
I hope that we can get a shot in the top 10. That would be a wonderful achievement.
And just as a manager, and rather interesting for us, is Matt Upson was in our commentary team today. Big fan of yours. Can you hear the commentary when you're down on it? No, he's singing your praises.
Nobody's killed a dragon in hundreds of years. Not since the unless I'm mistaken, you did all that for me.
We saw you look up in the game and we just wondered whether you heard something he said. That was all. But he was singing your praises. He was singing your praises.
Deserves.
Thank you very much, well done. Thank you, thank you.
Steve Bruce live on 5 Lads Sport on the Wednesday night with Judge coming
straighter than Heimdall and perfectly weighted.
At Hillsborough, Sheffield Wednesday, West Ham,
Where it's still goalless, 27.5 minutes gone in this first half, but we are seeing some shakes of the head from Slaven, but it's the West Brom manager because
yeah, you said he lost your talent.
Still on top, Adam Reed with a couple of opportunities, one delayed by, one denied by a fabulous
That I value a weapon's
tackle.
look, no, over its purpose, that I'm pretentious, no, and I'm tight, fussy. I know what he thinks, but he can't hurt me any.
Sheffield Wednesday nil, West Brom nil.
We've had goals in all our other games tonight.
Not have time for this.
Forest 1, Bristol City 0, Birmingham 0.
Wait.
Huddersfield 3, Preston 0. Derby 1 from early, brilliant Wayne Rooney goal in that game. In the Premier League, it's Everton 2, Leicester 1, Arsenal 4, Norwich 0. I know if you heard, Bournemouth 1, Newcastle 4. We'll have much more reaction to come from that game in particular. We'll hear from Eddie Howe shortly. Let's stick with where we are just as the game is about to get underway, which is West Ham Chelsea at the London Stadium. Was it you that I interrupted about 10 minutes ago, Clinton? I can barely know. Any point change of fence to call back the game. Where he was, I think the thing we were talking about, Noble not there tonight, and I thought
Perfect.
One small benefit in the fact that if Antonio is sustained to the channel,
Just
hold it out. They're going to have a lot of the ball West Ham looking to go long. At least they've got a little bit more legs in there in front of them, Ninian's gone out, trying to get up to support him.
Now, run that along the string of your son's ball.
Spurs West Ham, and he just looks so isolated up there, Antonio. You don't think, where on earth are they going to get a goal from? I can see your face since watching the game at the same time as talking to us. I've not really watched a football game next to you before. You look very into it already.
Yeah, I am into it, and I was listening to Ben Anstey's comments. And he's not a centre forward. He'd rather play out on the wing. That's why he's not got a lot of goals. He's expected this year coming this way and creating chances. They are missing Hala. I don't know how long he's going to be out for, but it's a huge game for West Ham. They need to get something tonight because the teams in and around it, in particular Bournemouth and Aston Villa, they're struggling. They've got time to get a positive result this evening. It can help them stay up this season, but yeah, he's not a centre forward. He'd rather play out wide. They were playing as a 2, weren't they, just for the break? I think that's suited Antonio so much better, having there next to him as a kind of target man, and then
brings you around,
Antonio sort of doing the kind of like, almost the uglier side of it.
Well, we are already winning now, John Southall.
Yeah, I think one of the problems is the lack of options they've got. West Ham up front, obviously Hala is injured, he's on his way back now, but they're just so devoid of options for the number 9 that Antonio has to play there. I think you're right, there's obviously, it looks a bit more positive to have that team in behind him with Bowen and Fornals on either side. I've been really impressed with Jared Bowen since he came in. They're playing a 4-2-3-1 time. He played just a couple of minutes here at the London Stadium, where Chelsea could go third tonight after that defeat for Leicester earlier. They've won their last 3 in the league and they're just on the break at the moment.
Discipline, not because we feel ourselves superior.
They are playing this 4-2-3-1. That's great when your confidence is high because then you can get runners beyond the centre forward. But when you're down at the bottom and you feel that you don't want to make that run because you don't want to leave gaps in behind, then it becomes a negative formation. That the 3 in behind the forward, the 2 wide guys end up coming so far deep to sort of protect, to stay as a 5. Then it ultimately just becomes a 4-5-1 and it becomes very negative. And the one thing I've noticed about West Ham is, and it's no different to probably most teams that have been around the bottom of the table, is the gaps get so big from the centre forward. So because we play a deep line and then the midfield want to protect the back 4, the gap between the midfield and then sort of Antonio becomes huge. And people think, I can't make that run, that's too big of a run. So they don't want to bust the gut to get there, where really, that's what you need to do, and you need to get your line up higher and tighter. But David Moyes is a very, I don't want to say he's negative, because I don't think he is, but he's very, he wants to stay in the game, he wants to be organised and disciplined.
You were subconscious though, that it's drifted into that side. You reckon when you come back into the side, like Chelsea, and have a lot of the ball tonight, you just end up drifting into it without any intention. I mean, you intend to start staying on the front circle before you know it. You've got no space between 2 lines and striking 30 yards away.
It's a safety blanket. That's what we always used to say in football. It's your safety blanket. Whenever you're in trouble, that's what you do. You drop and you get deeper and deeper. And I think teams think, or players anyway, who are down the bottom feel that the more that they drop deep, and that players are in front of them, they can't hurt them. But what you're actually doing is you're giving them time on the ball to pick any pass that they want to pick. And plus they're 20, 30 yards higher at the pitch, causing this damage. Whereas if you're actually trying to press them higher to hit the pitch, the passes have got to be so much better, the movement's got to be better with the players higher at the pitch. So it's very difficult because we all retreat when we're in trouble. It's like in any walk of life, we think the easiest thing to do is retreat and that'll save us.
Yeah, you end up. Sorry, no, go on, mate, you're right. Well, I was just going to say, you end up in a position like, we talked about the stats earlier on about Bournemouth and how difficult they find it to come from behind you in game. West Ham are in a really similar situation. And when you start to sit deeper and deeper, I just think it must absolutely crush your confidence when eventually a team does break you down. They do go in front. You think, how can you get back into it?
So I think it's a confidence, you think it's the last game, don't you? And you think, what happened in that game out last time? Well, they cut us apart, they found gaps in behind. Rather than think, well, this is a completely different team we're up against. We have to believe what we're doing is the right thing. But we're consciously so tough to do.
And speaking of Bournemouth, you can hear now from Eddie Howe after that painful 4-1 defeat for Bournemouth against Newcastle.
Eddie, how damaging is that result to your season and your battle for survival?
Well, we'll see. I think it's obviously a huge dent in us. We were determined to try and do that in the game and give ourselves a lift and from the heavy defeat. For us because we know with the ability there in the squad.
La 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 la.
We have to find solutions quickly.
Do you think the players are just confident at the moment?
I think it's the confidence of course the damage ability you've got on the run that we've been on without that being damaged. But I still feel they hold their confidence in themselves individually. But the confidence of the team has to return. You know, we have got that belief that we can win anywhere, we're going to have to win anywhere because the fiction we have to come are tough and difficult, but maybe that can go in our favour.
Do you need a spark or a goal or just something that can
Here, boy.
change your seat?
Another one.
This one's called Evil. Mother tried to tell me this one, but I think I was too young.
We need to look for an individual just to
Giants
try and
coming out of his armpits?
drag us up, you know, maybe that goal at the end to be the
I
catalyst
think that
for us.
might
We
be
know
Odin stabbing me.
that's what we have to cling to in this moment in time when there's very little to be positive about. You have to try and find it, and we have to try and find a positive solution to the position we're in.
Are the players hurting? I mean, it looked like you must have given them a good team talk at half time because they came out with a bit of energy, but how are they feeling now?
Players are hurting, no one wants to be in this position. Feeling attached to it.
I'll never get tired of shattering things
I
with
can
this.
tell everybody we're battling as hard as we can to fight for the club, the position we're in. Our supporters here. That is very difficult when you're in the position that we find ourselves.
You mentioned the game just coming up, Manchester United, Leicester as well, Manchester City. I mean, how many games have you won? Is there any consolation that the teams around you, I suppose, aren't winning at the moment either?
Well, certainly, but we're going to have to again. Ask other teams to do our work. We have to do it ourselves.
Thank you.
Thank you. Eddie Howe there with Will come in. If ever an interview told us everything you needed to know about the position of a football club, St Morrison, that was it. Yeah, they're in dire straits at the moment. It's going to struggle. To be fair, you will try and win your home games. When you're in a position, I know there's no fans and stuff, but you have to win your home games. And I think not having fans in the ground for Bournemouth, I always think the teams in and around the bottom, it's not benefited Bournemouth. I think it's been a big hindrance not having fans in there because I think when you need that 12th man when you're struggling like 31, and they are struggling massively. They're not scoring enough goals, they're not defending right. They lost the Crystal Palace. That's not what a team like Crystal Palace is. And then Newcastle comes, seeing them 4-1. When I kept on watching the Newcastle game, I'm flicking over to the left and right, and I couldn't believe I kept kicking back the channel. So they're in big trouble at the moment. They're only saving grace is that teams that in and around them are losing football matches as well. So they're still in it. But if you look at their run of games they've got at the moment, it's going to be a struggle for them to stay up. It is really disappointing because I think Eddie Howe's done a terrific job at Bournemouth, but it's like in the season where they do go down. Penalty at Hills for Vicky Scott.
The penalty has gone into the net for West Bromwich Albion and Charlie Austin completely against the run of play. They've been second in this first half, but a push in the area received the penalty by referee David Webb. The long thing about it, he pointed to the spot. West Brom were up in arms appealing, and Charlie Austin, one of 5 changes that Southern Village has made for this match, stepped up, no mistake from the spot, his 10th of the season, and what a precious goal that could be for West Bromwich Albion in their fight for automatic promotion. Sheffield Wednesday 0, West Brom 1.
85058 at 5 live for Kai, the only decent player that Bournemouth have is Nathan Ake. The rest of them will be playing at their rightful level of the Championship. Craig, it's a chastening experience for Bournemouth. The first time it felt like the outlook had shifted from difficult to drastic. It's been ugly at times. I think it was interesting what Eddie Howe was saying there about the home fans, and Clinton alluded to it too. West Ham probably have a similar problem.
That's going in the
really
journal.
has not helped those teams that, you know, cliche as it is, need a 12th man.
Yeah, to a certain degree, but the format has been good in the whole season. You can't just suddenly say that since we come out of lockdown that they've been on a poor run of form. I just looking at the form here. I mean, you win 1 game in November, you win 1 game in December, you win 2 games in January, and one of them's, well, that's it, and then you win 1 in February. It's not great form anyway going into before the pandemic and the lockdown. This has been long before. I think the thing that Eddie Howe's trying to sort of almost get across is that
it's since the pandemic. We've come out of the pandemic that they've got into trouble. They're far from it.
It's alright.
They've been in massive trouble all season. I've spoken quite a few times about Bournemouth and the way that they play. They try and play this open, expansive football, which only the best teams in world football can play, and they not get punished because they're set up defensively. And when they do lose the ball, they're in positions to win it back because they're world-class players and they understand the tactics and the things like that. And one of my, it's not criticism of Eddie Howe, but I just think it's something that you need when you're a young manager, experienced tenant, someone who knows how to fight this part of the season and knows how to play a different way when it gets ugly. I look at Bournemouth and he just translates the same way the whole way through the season. I get battered at times. And yes, they'll have one great result and play one great game of football, but they're in trouble. They have to cross the plane to the Bournemouth and now came back to Bournemouth and without playing. So we've got Norwich 21 points, Bournemouth on 27, Villa on 27, Watford on 28, and then West Ham on 28. They of course are playing at home to Chelsea tonight. John Southall, the finisher.
Yeah, West Ham nil. It was shot to Chelsea, Willian on the left-hand side of the penalty and got the shot in that Fabianski held on to. And you have to say at the moment, West Ham just cannot get the ball. If we had fans in here, we have in the over 78% possession so far Chelsea in this game now. Totally dominant, but it's West Ham nil, Chelsea now.
John, the pitch looks absolutely massive without fans as well. Stephen was just talking about when someone needs to make a long busting run. If you're a West Ham player and you look up at it, just looks bad.
Well, that's what he explains why I haven't touched the ball in these early times. I don't know if you've been here, it's further away than it normally does.
Yeah.
And it is a long way here. Because there's Antonio, who's just through the short line of the left-hand post, and that was a decent chance as well for West Ham. Not had hardly no possession in the opening 12 minutes of the game, but that was a decent opportunity.
Let's get a reaction from our centre forward. He's got his finger in the air.
That's a great chance. He's used his power, his strength.
You hear those voices too, right?
Yes.
This guy put that into the bottom corner or at least hit the target, but I think Stephen alluded to it earlier and I did. That's why he's not a natural centre forward. He's got all the raw strength, but it's just his finishing. At times he lets him down, but he's done all the hard work. Just try and put that into the bottom corner.
Must be important that the sons of Thor deign to grace me with their presence.
Yeah, I mean, that's the problem, isn't it?
You two still tripping over yourselves to impress Daddy. Tattoo.
It just doesn't have a composure when it goes through. When you think that you need to relax and take that.
Why?
That's why the goal scorers are paid the big money and are paid to be calm in those situations.
Dead ones too.
West Ham nil, Chelsea nil then. Big opportunity though for Mikel Antonio to break the deadlock. Let's talk about
Your father won't let you come over and he won't let you kill. You have nothing to offer me, so take your questions, take your threats, take these two worthless wankers and piss off.
Every single week, another great assist for him tonight in that win over Bournemouth. They are going to struggle to hang on to him, aren't they? 17 million as well, what a signing.
Yeah, I think we're sort of all eyes on what happens next, really, in terms of the takeover. But I've absolutely adored watching. I really enjoyed from the beginning, from the moment that he signed. I think I saw a video of him going in and getting involved in a local food bank.
Yeah.
Literally after like a couple of months, maybe, or a month, and I just thought, okay, this guy's got a little bit of
Very topic of conversation.
in a local community.
A tattooed man travelling with a child.
And he goes out onto the pitch and then shows that character
Which
very
is
well.
I shall
Or we just let him leave.
do as I say.
Sort of deep within his own heart and playing that level of confidence. And then tonight, what was really impressed me is
Well,
I'm the greatest ambassador to the gods, the giants, and all the creatures of the nine realms. I know every corner of these lands, every language spoken, every war waged, every deal struck. They call me Mimir, smartest man alive.
attempting to
I have the answer to every question.
Why does the son of Odin hunt us?
Yeah, you remind me of, but I think
Okay, there are a few gaps in
Gaps in
the
my
knowledge.
knowledge.
Odin's had me prison here for lying hunters. I'm a clever lad. Piece it together. Promise. Time.
Nobody there. Just like I said.
The boy's mother is dead. She wished
She
her.
wanted us to spread our ashes and hides all around.
Oh, then you've come to the wrong place.
Little brother.
The highest peak in all the realms is not here in Midgard. It's in Jotunheim.
Brother. No! Yeah. Check it out.
This is the last known bridge to Jotunheim in all the realms. See that mountain? Looks like a giant's finger straight in the sky. That's the highest peak in all the realms.
Not here.
Can't we just take that bridge? We have a Bifrost.
When the giants destroyed all other bridges to their realm, they locked this one up with a secret rune. If it still exists, only a giant should know it.
And all of them left Midgard a long time ago.
True. But today, the winds of fate have kicked up a strange vortex of coincidence. Like this, there's only one person alive who can get you where you need to go. And luckily for you, my schedule is wide open.
He's happy to go either way, and it sounds so wrong that, but so difficult to go against them. They react off your body.
We're going to you, right?
It's your best and only move from a tactical standpoint. It's the one place the man who cannot be killed won't follow.
Why do we get so intent on selling players when they have a good season? Why can't we say it?
First, you need to shut off
Come off my head. Wait, what?
Odin made sure that no weapon, not even Thor's hammer, could free my body from his bonds. But fortunately, you don't need my body. The trick is, we need to find someone who can reanimate my head using the old magic.
There's a witch of the woods. She knows the old ones.
And she'll help. She might do worth a chance.
If she fails, you're dead.
He tortures me.
Every day, brother.
Every day, brother. Odin himself says it personally, believe me.
There's no end to his
There's no end to his creativity. Every single day.
This is a living.
This is a living.
Oh, I can't watch this.
Mother,
The government says the UK has
in case you can't resonate with me, there's something you don't know. Boy, the longer you wait to tell him his true nature, the more damage you do. He will resent you, and you may lose him forever.
There's much about me I won't have him know.
So you value your privacy more than your son.
I'm gonna cut off your head now.
I'm going to cut off your head now.
Fair enough.
You're listening to BBC Radio 5 Live. The Premier League is back. Chelsea have beaten the outgoing champions Manchester City by 2 goals to 1. And for Liverpool are the champions again. On Thursday, it's a double bill. It's a 6 o'clock kickoff. Sheffield United versus Spurs. Manchester City host Liverpool at 8:15. Your football station. This is 5 Live. This is 5 Live Sport with Steve Crossman. Evening, welcome back to the Wednesday Night Club. Ben Haynes, Stephen Warnock and Clinton Morrison with me through until 10:30. So this is what's happened so far.
Inconvenient.
And a great performance from Newcastle in the Premier League. They beat Bournemouth 4-1, which keeps Eddie Howe's side in the bottom 3. Arsenal moved up to 7 thanks to a 4-0 win over Norwich, of course, the bottom of the table. Everton got a 2-1 victory over Leicester.
Soon we'll be able to translate those news
Certainly a significant threat. West Ham hosting Chelsea in the late kick-off, currently 0-0, just under 20 minutes played. In the Championship, West Brom hoping to go top of the table. If they can win at Sheffield Wednesday, that's still goalless. Wayne Rooney free kick against Derby, a 1-0 win at Preston.
Yes.
They're now a point
Woods with the Guardiola
off the
leaves.
playoff.
South of the
Still
wood.
won 3-0 at
I know just
Birmingham.
where to go.
Whilst Nottingham Forest beat Bristol City 1-0.
Hope she made it back from
Elsewhere,
Alpha
the
and can
government
bring the
digital
mirror.
culture, media and sports
You seem
committee is
nice.
warning that 10 or 15 EFL clubs could follow Wigan into administration unless some financial help comes from the top of the game. Wigan will be deducted 12 points.
and need funding by the end of the season after their Hong Kong-based owners pulled out last night. The legendary West Indies batsman Sir Everton Weekes has died at the age of 95. Cricket West Indies say that they're mourning the loss of an icon, and England says that Manny is one of 6 left Tigers players set to be released by the Premiership club because of the coronavirus pandemic. Let's check back in with Vicky Sparks at Hillsborough.
This must be a branch of the World Trade.
Boy, stay on the path.
West Brom have that precious lead after break. Their first goal in 5 league games, and they're on course for their first win in 5 league games as well. Johnny Austin running over penalty. 8 minutes before half-time after a special exchange from Odegaard. But my word, it was a get-out-of-jail free card for West Brom. They visited 60 seconds there. Wednesday looking bright with several half chances. But West Brom have the precious breakthrough. As they stand, they will move 5 points clear.
I guess they really did leave Redbird, except for the Serpent. Maybe the last was coming. Are you the last of your kind too? Is that why you don't like to talk about
My
that?
kind.
I mean, your friend. You fought over
Now is not the time for that.
You expected him to score the form he's in at the moment. West Ham 0, Chelsea 0.
I said we were going to say I know you're a massive fan, and I wonder whether or not his presence, if he is going to have a continued presence there, would be a reason that they could hang on to some of their stars, particularly Sam Maximan, who has been so glowing in his free.
What a fucking break! Don't hear me screeching at you whenever you're twiddling your sword.
He's one of the best managers on earth. Man management is massive in football nowadays, and he's one of the best. And you have to handle
Well,
him.
you already soiled my solitude, so you may as well.
And he's probably doing that with Kansas City Maximan at the minute. That is a massive club.
So you're probably right.
No, the fans didn't want him there. I don't know if it was because
And that's how you let him go and rock on my axe.
He's done a really good job
Let's see
there.
the
But at
damage.
the moment, if you look on it, Steve Bruce is doing a better job than Rafa Benitez, and they could end up finishing higher up in one of the top 10 places.
Think it wouldn't no proper weight and balance if it were dangling off this chair.
And I think he's getting the best out of that group of players. And if there is a takeover, I know they've been linked to big names, but
Well
he could possibly get that job. But I'd love to see Steve Bruce at that with a lot of money to spend, because he maybe can take them to the next level. I know now people say the style of football is not attractive, but they're getting results at the moment. Maybe with a bit more quality.
Now what the fuck else?
Style of football will change. Just to pick up on that thing,
Gets so wrapped up in his work that he hasn't sense to sip or so. And if he does remember, good luck getting him to cook his own
And
meat.
take Longstaff as
Guess I got
almost like the first forward pressing the defence.
Boy, what is the path back to the ridge?
First we need to find a boat.
Everything's a bit too passive, playing with 5 at the back. Sometimes it gets a bit boring and a bit dull, but I think that probably completely stumped Eddie Howe tonight. He was probably expecting Steve Bruce to sort of forward base, perhaps stabilised in this
That
team.
one. Behind the big
But
statue
the
of
fact that
Thor.
he went with 3 very attacking players, playing right behind Dwight Gale, chasing Dwight Gale as well. He missed that huge opportunity at the weekend, and then put Jolinton out on one side as well. I thought that showed a bit of dynamism.
She could have gone on a trip like this with Mother.
Getting a bit of the repertoire here,
She
getting a
could
few
fight.
more sort of different things coming out of the locker, and maybe that is in some way just a little nod to people that were kind of saying that they were getting a bit dull or getting a bit stale.
Yeah, maybe because they're safe now and the reins are off. He doesn't have to be more defensive. You can let them play with freedom. And yeah, Longstaff got a really good goal. He's a bit unfortunate he came off with that hamstring injury because he looks really good. But yeah, it was more attacking. As I said, I've worked under him. I know he can be attacking. I understand why he was being a bit more defensive, a bit more cautious at Newcastle. But I think he's done a good job. I don't know what you think, Stephen, but I think he's done a terrific job at Newcastle.
I love Steve Bruce. I think he's brilliant at what he does and what he brings into a club. I think almost this is now like an audition for the new owners coming in to show his diversity of what he can do. I'm not just a defensive manager. Once I've got the right players and I've got the right formation, this is what I can do. Now don't forget they did play ball tonight. They were on a terrible run. They were
I know she's really powerful.
If there was ever a time to play a formation to strike them,
She seems competent in her craft, and we have nothing to lose.
If she can't bring it back to life, can you keep the head?
No. But you may feel to perish.
Okay.
Newcastle fans weren't happy with him coming in, but Rafa Benitez did not play exciting football. So Steve Bruce has gone there and pretty much done very similar to what Rafa did. He's got paid a fraction of what Rafa did, and he's doing a better job than what Rafa did. So, Steve Bruce.
Newcastle fans, look at it tonight, 85058 554. Steve Bruce now. Let's hear from Mikel Arteta next, the Arsenal head coach. Arsenal 4-0 victors over Norwich City tonight and moving up to 7th in the table.
We play in the coming half, some really interesting things with the ball, there was and we struggled, but then when I talk about competing, we went into the ball in the last 15 years by an individual level, and then we started to step on how we have some issues, they changed the shape, but we had to adapt a little bit, and after when we changed shape again, I think we came back in control of the game and created chances to score more. So, overall,
Yeah, Enrico Aubameyang is the fastest Arsenal player now to 50 Premier
I bet
League
this will
goals.
be
What do you have to say about him?
well, that tells everything. You know, we have some really, really great strikers in this football club, and for him to achieve that is phenomenal. Keep his service with his attitude, the effort that he puts every day in his training, and the way he's winning all the
it
time
also
to
could
help
taste the
his
travel.
team.
You know what I'm going to say now, though? Arsenal fans want to know whether he's going to be here next season. Any more news?
I am very positive with that. Every time I see with him, he's really happy where he is. He's very settled, his family are happy. He knows what we are trying to do here, and hopefully we can have him on board for a long time.
Are you now more concerned with the league table? It's still in the hunt for Europe, of course, in the league. Or are you more concerned with the evolution of your team?
The evolution of the team, how we train tomorrow, how we review the game tonight, the things that we have to improve, the things that we have to sustain every 3 days to be a better team and to play better, because we'll have better chances to win. And we will see in the last 2 or 3 games where we are and what can we do.
Positive noises on Aubameyang there, Ben. Interesting, because I mean that once you send that message to the fans, it makes it incredibly difficult to go back on. As Aubameyang does move away, that'll be absolutely enormous for that football club. And they rely so heavily on him and his goals. And just watching the game tonight, he's leading the line so well. I mean, Norwich were very poor. Defensively, Norwich were absolutely awful tonight. But Aubameyang is far and away Arsenal's best player at the moment, and particularly their best finisher. And I just don't know how you would go about replacing him if he leaves. So to send that message of almost like, yeah, positive vibes, he seems really happy, he seems really settled, like it will become all the more difficult if he does choose to move away, because I don't know, again, I don't have to experience like the guy, but I'd assume that once you get to that point in your career, I've got half an eye on, do I want one more move? Do I want to just get that last big move in? Yeah, it's going to be a big decision. You're going to ask me a question, do I think Aubameyang will be there next season? I'm probably in favour of, I don't think he will be there next season. I think if Arsenal don't get into the Champions League, it's looking really unlikely with the teams that are up there and stuff like that. I think it could be a struggle to keep Aubameyang. I think he's getting into his 30s, and yeah, you probably think he's got one big move. One more big move, and the amount of goals he scored, and he's not even played as a number 9, but I think he wants to play. I think he's been on the left hand side, and he scored the amount of goals that he scored this season. I think it's great in a struggling team. All Arsenal fans will want Aubameyang to stay there, but I think I can't see him staying there. I think someone will pay big money and he'll get a move in the summer. I don't know what Stephen thinks, but that is my opinion. I think he's exciting.
I mean, if I was Jurgen Klopp, I'd be going for it. With a year left on his contract, and you want a goal scorer who can either come off the bench or play on a regular basis, he will challenge the front three naturally. He doesn't need time to settle. You know he's proven in what he does. He knows the manager, and the manager knows what he's about. He's thinking of the package that Timo Werner was going to cost. So what he's got shipped out to. And then Brandon figures about that I've seen in the press and the media. So you're talking 200 grand a week plus 50-odd million pounds to buy him. The package is huge. Now don't get me wrong, Aubameyang will be on big wages, but he isn't going to cost you that type of money to get him out with a year after his contract. And he ain't going to do that. Aubameyang is right to go to a good way to the football. And that's me get back at the business bracket as well. All matches in United. Because from man will compete for Champions League, compete in the league, and he will win some trophies going to one of those three clubs. That's what he wants at the end of his career. And then also, when you retire at the end of your career, have that association with one of those three clubs, as well as Arsenal, as well as Borussia Dortmund. What a CV you've got there moving forward. So for me, I think one of the big boys will come knocking, but Arteta has to try and prove to him that he can stay at Arsenal.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Ben. I totally agree with Stephen. I was thinking he could come off the bench and he would start games as well. But also Man United. If Man United want to get close to the likes of Liverpool and Man City next season, he should be trying that to come back. A proven Premier League striker who will get you goals. Some players like Mason Greenwood can learn from him and Martial as well. So I think it'd be a great sign. But I think Stephen's on. He goes to someone like a Liverpool and Man United. And he wants, anyone will tell you, at the end of your career, you want to look back and say, I've won stuff. And he goes to Liverpool, the likes of Liverpool, he'll definitely win things. I don't think at this precise moment, Arsenal, they're probably 2 or 3 years from winning stuff again. I know Arsenal fans might not hear that, but that's the honest truth.
Stephen, when you made the point before about the competition, are players genuinely afraid of the idea of some
Atreus, to me.
competing for a spot? Some players actually sort of worried about that.
What from him going from Arsenal and starting week in, week out, and then go into a Liverpool? Well, I think players want to test themselves and they'll back themselves to go to big clubs. If a big club comes knocking, I think they're saying, well, he wants me there, I'm going to play X amount of games. I might not start every week, but once I'm there and I prove what I can do, I believe I can knock someone out the team, and I believe I can do that. The players who come in, or who are already at the club, and a big name like Aubameyang walks through the door, they think, I'm not letting him up my space. So their levels go up, and that's why they become world-class players, because the competition for places becomes so strong. The reason I mentioned Manchester City is because they're losing Leroy Sané. Obviously Aubameyang playing off that left-hand side, coming in. Would he fit at United with Rashford playing that side? Possibly not, and Martial coming off that side. But the thing again, it's competition for places. If Rashford gets injured, or Aubameyang might even play on that right-hand side, or Rashford might, and it's just that ability to mix things up. And I just think it'd be very, very difficult for him to stay at Arsenal unless Arsenal get the checkbook out and really go for it over
here.
The next transfer window. Then I don't see Aubameyang staying.
I was wondering.
Let's go back to the London Stadium, John Tapper.
West Ham 0, Chelsea 0, and Rare 4 into the Chelsea half for West Ham. They've got a corner down on this right-hand side. The referee just having a word with the defenders, and in the middle of the penalty area, a bit of nonsense going on there. The corner will be taken.
How's it going, Charlie? Is there a trend here?
What is that name?
That's what he told me it was. What it sounded like in my head anyway.
Looking well
Charlie.
organised and very defensively wise. Pretty solid at the back. So far, they've been restricted to shots in different Chelsea. The corner will eventually be taken. The ball down in this corner. Just there. Let's see what happens to this. Penalty area. West Ham go left. Can we cover the content? What a big goal for West Ham! Then he's like on to
I'm looking down the TV, Kepa's moaning, so everything, she wants the VAR, but now it looks like a legit goal to me. You can see she gets a flick on at the back post, and now it's a goal. Sinchek goes it at the back post, so yeah, West Ham with a 1-0. It's a great start, but West Ham Chelsea is dominating, but yeah, 1-0 West Ham, they got something to hold on to now.
Funny, Stephen, that we were just hearing in the interview with Eddie Howe, who was saying they just desperately need something to go their way. I mean, that was a goal that went West Ham's way if I've ever seen them bobbling around.
What does it say?
Lying on the floor before going in.
Well, that is exactly.
Say 30 things
You
upon
need
all who
something along
trust me.
those lines, but we spoke about the club shop before the game kicked off, and we were saying this is what David Moyes wants. He wants a set piece, or he wants something that he can score off, because he feels, I mean, you look at the West Ham players.
Yes, sir.
Man Mountain, aren't they? They're a huge team, very difficult to play against defensively.
Death to the
So if you
Raven
can get that
Word of the head.
quality coming into the box, then you've got every chance. And now it gives them something to hang on to.
they are looking at it for a possible offside. It looks like Antonio chest hits it, it might hit. Antonio jumps out or whatever you want to play.
Antonio on the floor, and on Antonio structure the other side, before Sucho comes on the 4-yard boundary. Motionless at the moment in the field, waiting for the referee's decision. We're just getting the lines across the screen on the VAR screen. I think he's offside, isn't he? He's offside. Oh, that is so cruel on West Ham. Because Antonio is lying on the floor, he is affecting play, and Suchek drags it back and scores the goal from 4 yards down. The referee's still waiting for the official decision from Stockley's part, but I think Antonio's head is offside there. We're still getting these lines across the pitch on the VAR.
Yeah, boy.
Antonio, he's looking on as well. The camera's on him. I think he possibly knows that he might be fractionally offside. It's taking an awfully long time for them to make the decision. It's West Ham Chelsea won at the moment as it stands. Suchek with the goal, and the referee is we're still waiting. I mean, I don't know if you can see the pictures back there.
It comes up, I think if you can see it slightly, it might come off Antonio. And if it does come off Antonio, he's in an offside position because they're getting a yellow line out of it. And it does look like he's in an offside position. You know, the daft thing about this though, Ben, is that the part of Antonio's body that it maybe is on side.
What does it say?
Hawk and turtle dove.
Facing the goal,
Swim aloft in oceans of rock.
Now, Antonio falls over. It comes off Antonio. Suchek then gets his right leg around as he came back off him again and went in. So we still wait. West Ham 0, Chelsea 1 a minute ago. It's obviously the other way around. West Ham 1, Chelsea 0. Here we go. I think we can now. The referee says, here, and he has hit the goal. Oh, that is so cruel on West Ham.
Are we to assume that the goal has been disallowed because Antonio actually blocked him and kept him to you?
Father, she is here. It's so good to see you again. Dad.
Hello.
This is TV. He was literally holding me up.
I'm not sure I understand. Where did you get those? The arrows. Give them to me, now.
They were a gift.
Yeah, she says, boy.
These arrows are dangerous. Wicked. You find any more, you destroy them, understand? Do you understand? Say it!
I understand. If I see them, I'll destroy them.
It's all I ask. Forgive me. Please, take my arrows in their place. I have no need for them anymore.
Do you think that is worse than having put the ball in the back of the net, in that you have that massive...
What's this about a head?
You're in a relegation fight, you've just taken the lead, and then wham, it's taken.
Do you have any idea who this is? Did you kill him?
At his
At
request.
his request.
He claimed you could revive him.
Me? Are you sure you heard him right?
And you get that adrenaline buzz because you think, right, we're still in the game, we're still in control, and we can control this game.
Take him to the table.
Hey,
Millie. It's been a long time since I've practiced the old magic. Hold him there. Let's have a look. Well, thankfully his head hasn't decayed much and his brain is still intact. Nice clean cut. Cutting off his head of all people. I sure hope you know what you're doing. Now, hold his head under the water and don't let go. I mean it.
I think it ruins the game. I think it slows it down to the point where, I mean, we've just been sat watching that for 4 or 5 minutes, picking the bones off of it, wondering what's going on, and the millimetres, that's, well, like you said, like Ben says, that's
enough.
West Ham a goal. I just think it's, the margin of error is just so far.
85058 at 5 live score. Arsenal fans getting in touch.
Let me see him.
Is world class. That's 51 goals in 79 games. He doesn't always get the service, but when he does, there's just no stopping him.
How did you do that?
Top winner.
cannot trust her.
Everybody
taught you nothing, boy.
Cedric is the new Nacho Monreal.
She lied.
Some people value their privacy. It's not to judge, brother.
When I require your counsel, Head, I will ask.
Fair enough. Get me to Tyr's temple in the Lake of the Nine, and I'll get you to Jotunheim as promised.
You know, what's there?
Only the last living giant in Midgard. You better tell us the way.
The world serpent? Wait, do you know how to talk to him?
Indeed. He speaks an obscure tongue more ancient even than these mountains. None are left in Midgard who speak it. Except, of course, for me.
Who do?
It's true. You wouldn't know it to look at him, but Jormungandr is a sparkling conversationalist.
Goal just allowed at one end, and they've now conceded a penalty. The old brought down the penalty. We're just going to watch it now. Penalty coming into the penalty area. And yeah, well, I'll see it from another angle, but that looks like a penalty. Penalty went down. And Chelsea now have the chance to take the lead. Obviously trying to get out of the way of it.
Why did Frey spin your face?
No. Speak of Baldur. He claims nothing harms him.
Aye, Baldur is blessed with invulnerability to all threats, physical or magical.
Boasting of a god. Everyone has a weakness.
Not him, I'm afraid. He's got invulnerability to all threats, physical or magical.
You just said that.
What is the source of this power?
Well, as I recall, it involved parts of my brain will still be coming back to life. Just need a moment to finish waking up.
Hope he's not broken.
I tell you what, Clinton, I said earlier that Eddie Howe's interview gave a lot away about their situation.
Come here. We're on the lake.
David
Perfect. Dock us near the bridge.
I mean, that is a look. Yeah, it's unlucky. When he's going against you, Crosby is going against you, you can see at one end, 3-4 minutes ago, he thinks he's seen took the lead, and then they give away a penalty there, and they put it away.
You never did tell me why Frey spin your face.
Enough. No stories. Not while on foot. Our focus is the road.
Completely understand.
Ed, how do we speak to the serpent?
There's a horn on a platform at the middle point of the bridge. Take me to it.
The way in which Arteta originally approached the other stuff. Do you remember he said we were going to discuss it at the end of the game? He said we're going to talk about this at the end of the game, and then no one really even talked about it at the end of the game. So it kind of just left this weird sort of.
Good. Now put my lips to the horn.
And the longer that goes on, the worse it gets. But I guess this is the purgatory.
Why is he doing that?
Odin had that statue made in honor of Thor. Seen as the world's serpent, absolutely abhors that fat dog. He was probably sick of looking at it.
But doesn't that hurt?
Well, he and Thor have a bit of an unpleasant history between them. Or, well, anyway. I guess waking up to see it was worse than the thought of lumps of solid stone passing through his gullet. You want me to ask him?
No. Our only concern is Jotunheim.
Right, wish me luck. Still got it, lads. He remembers me. Why you? He knows the pain of that loss. He will help you.
Yes. What is it? Nothing to be concerned about.
What is he doing?
Making sure we're heading in the right direction. Listen closely now. We need two things to get us into the land of the giants. First, we need to learn the travel rune that opens realm travel to Jotunheim. Second, we need to carve that rune into the special gate.
That one of the people we first met?
Correct. Except the giants, in their infinite wisdom, saw to it that no ordinary chisel would do the job. Only the tip of a magical chisel opens that gate. Luckily, I know where it is. It's not far. Now that, you thought I said you were friends of Odin. You'll forgive me. I've never spoken the ancient tongue sober.
It could just be plain unlucky. But he never moans about it. He says, yeah, we've lost players, we can't do anything about it, and we'll carry on and we'll do our best. And I think sometimes football play.
There was a point earlier in the season where it took him 7 minutes in a press conference to list his injury news. The injury news at the beginning of the press is usually about 30 seconds. It took him 7 minutes to get through it. It was absolutely bizarre. But I think just to put your point there, how he hasn't gone absolutely berserk at Cross for trying to close turn on the edge of his own box and getting caught out. And then these things happen. That shouldn't happen. Like, what are you talking about? He just made a 5-yard square pass to the defender who was waiting to receive it. Just get the ball cleared. You're in a relegation scrap. Like, and this is, I think tonight, I've really enjoyed watching what Norwich have tried to do all season. But since we've come back, there was an opportunity to recalibrate. There was an opportunity to completely refresh and reset and try something different. I just can't understand tonight. Even, like we said earlier on, even if it's going to come down to goal difference, maybe, just try not to concede more. Like, the way in which they conceded the fourth goal was just so lethargic. I'm amazed that he's able to be that positive, but it's quite impressive.
Well, Stephen, if you're not sure about Daniel Parker, we could always go back to chatting about VAR if you want.
You're okay.
Keep rolling towards the statues of the oarsmen, then thread past between them.
VAR is taking the Michael. Took 3 minutes to disallow that West Ham goal. If it takes that long, it can't be clear and obvious. Steve, if VAR requires such lengthy and detailed analysis, it's not clear and it's not obvious.
You never did tell me why France spit in your face.
Well, she blames me in large measure for her present circumstances, and not totally without reason. It all goes back to the long war between the Aesir and Vanir. Prior to that, of course, the Aesir were easily won, but the Vanir have proved their equal and exacted devastating damage. But I can just tell you this story later.
And I'll tell you what, we'll be celebrating that goal because it could mean that they stay in third place in the Premier League tonight. They've been on an awful run. They were beaten again tonight to Everton, and we will be hearing from Brendan Rodgers after the news on 5 Live with Oliver Jones.
BBC Radio 5 Live.
This is
what is it?
Why do you ask that? Just this way. There was a giant once. A very giant. Who, despite his mountainous size, had questioned the greatest stonemason this world had ever seen. The proud farmer hoped to one day pass his vast knowledge on to his son. But young Rupert had the heart of a warrior. Perhaps the father had too much fear in him, the son too little. Either way, the quarrel of the earth spiraled out of control, and the overworked stonemason struck his son. Rupert ran off into the night, feeling shame and regret. Thamur chased after his son, but in his emotional state soon found himself wandering Midgard, lost and alone. Sadly, he caught the eye of the one person who didn't want to meet alone that night. So far.
And what happened next?
You'll see.
Democracy protest telephone known said it's possible to break an indoor by accident. It is very safe. So Hong Kong people can easily track into these accidents, but it is horrible
Well, always took credit for planning that one. The truth is, the sweaty ball bag just got lucky.
So it's horrible for all of us.
4-year-old man has been arrested by police investigating the tearing down of the statue of Edward Cullen in Bristol last month. Bronze memorial of the 17th century slave trader was thrown into Bristol Harbour during a Black Lives Matter protest. Polls have closed after a week-long referendum in Russia that's expected to allow President Putin
A dangerous beast. We will take him down together.
Stay.
The tip of one, yes.
Yeah, evening. Welcome back to the Wednesday nightclub. I've got Ben Haynes, Stephen Warnock and Clinton Morrison.
Magically
with me.
sealed.
Coming up, we're going to speak live to two head coaches. Doncaster Rovers manager Darren Moore is going to be with us, and the new boss of the Northern Ireland national team, Ian Barraclough, as well. Not a good night for sides at the wrong end of the Premier League tonight. Bournemouth down to 19 after they were hammered forward by Newcastle. Bottom of the table, Norwich's hopes of survival. They look like they're over, don't they? They lost 4-0 at Arsenal. West Ham playing Chelsea right now. It's half-time, John Starkle.
West Ham playing Chelsea, what a fine minute we had to half. Let's go with the disallowed goal for West Ham. Corner on the right-hand side. Right on net about 4 or 5 yards out. Antonio was on the floor. He came off Antonio. Suchek then hooked it in from 5 yards out. And Suchek was judged to be offside by VAR for about 4 minutes to check it. Just looking at some of the texts that are coming up, and one of them says, as a Chelsea fan, I think the West Ham goal should have stood. So there you go, that tells you from a West Ham, one of the Chelsea supporter. They were then punished a couple of minutes later.
Samuel was a cross-jack.
Went down under a challenge of
His final breath froze.
Williams scored the penalty, 7th goal of the season for him. Then right on half-time, same situation. Corner on the right-hand side. Rupert was there on the far post this time to head it in. But the Scottish said he watched it again. Kevin defensively was strong enough in that conviction coming out to get it. Suchek nodded it in the far post, beaten into the half. That's how much Chelsea won.
Equalises good news for Leicester fans. Chelsea struggling in at the London Stadium. Leicester will stay third tonight despite a 2-1 defeat at Everton, who are unbeaten since the restart of the season. We'll hear from Brendan Rodgers in a moment. Championship second place side West Brom playing tonight. They're at Sheffield Wednesday, Vicky Spot.
And they have netted a huge second goal in their bid for automatic promotion. West Brom leading Sheffield Wednesday by 2-0. Matthias Pereira heading home, beautiful header in off the post from Kieran Gibbs' Crawford. Sheffield Wednesday are not out of this yet. They have just hit the post through Kazim Harris. But as things stand, West Brom with breathing space in this match and breathing space in that fight for automatic promotion. They will be 5 points clear of third place Brentford and just a point behind leaders lead. Sheffield Wednesday 0, West Brom 6.
Great night for Huddersfield. They climbed out of the relegation zone after beating Birmingham 3-0. Nottingham Forest won 1-0 against Bristol City. Derby
Find
got
the
a
tip of
1-0
that
win
chisel.
at Preston.
That's the magic we need.
Brilliant Wayne Rooney free kick. And elsewhere tonight, some sad news to bring you. The legendary West Indies batsman Sir Everton Weeks has died at the age of 95. He's the only man to make centuries in 5 consecutive Test innings. I promised you we would hear from the Leicester manager Brendan Rodgers after their defeat at Everton. Here he is.
Brendan, 2 goals in a very quick succession tonight, which always sort of had you training a little bit.
Yeah, I thought the first goal was soft from our perspective. We made a good start in the game. You know, got control of it early and then took away the first goal. We're obviously disappointed in the second one because, you know, we've had a number of handballs that it was so tough to then go 2-0 behind. The first half we were disappointed to be able to do this intention to the game. And you know, it's kind of the game, I'm going to say it was very disappointed on me.
Son of a bitch.
And then Carroll's get his goal. And then with really the dominant team, but that makes it worse because the 2-0, there's no pressure. The 2-0, there's no pressure. in the game. But we were dominant, and we just, like I said, we got the goal early on, and then our rhythm and tempo was increased. So by the end of February, we deserved something from it, but it was a disappointing start from our perspective.
It was believed that New York calmed the winds and seas for fishermen. For that they loved and worshipped.
Yeah, well, we always said at the beginning of it all that we would have no excuses. You know, I think we've got some fantastic senior professionals. We've got lots of young players that are experienced and, you know, this type of level and essentially for the first time, really. And I think that's something we've got from that. It's just more a mindset. You know, we have to be more aggressive in the game. Like I said, for a large part of this season, we have been. Like you said, there's too many times we've had to rescue a little bit at half time because we started slowly. So we need to be much better. But we're still incredibly in a great position with 6 games to go. But we'll need to find the solutions to that. That's something that I'm looking forward to. See if we can do that in these last remaining games.
Brendan Rodgers and Conor McNamara, things they were in a much better position. Clinton, I've got a great stat in front of me here. So it's 2 wins in 12 for Leicester in the Premier League. But you look at where they were. So January the 3rd, Leicester won 3-0 at Newcastle. And that put them 15 points clear of the team in 6th position. They're now 3 points clear of the team in 6th position. What has happened there?
Yeah, they struggled. They're not scoring enough goals at the minute. Jimmy Vardy's gone quiet. I think they're too reliant on his goals. That other people need to start coming to them. But yeah, I watched bits and pieces of the game, and yeah, Madison came on and kind of changed the game for them in the actual goal. Obviously, then there were the 2 points that came on at half time, but first off, his Leicester was flat. Everyone was by far the better team, and it's just been totally disappointing. But I think before lockdown, they were struggling, and they need to be careful because Chelsea are in good form. Man United are coming and they're in very good form, and I think it could be Leicester who could drop out. I've seen it drop out. It's been a brilliant season, but the way it's ending, it's not been particularly well. And then also you've got Wolves out in there about it as well, so there's a lot of games to play. But I think it'll go down to the last game of the season. Man United have got Leicester. It's going to be a huge game, and that will probably decide who gets into the Champions League. But they've not been in good form recently.
Oh, can't hear you there, Ben, for some reason. I can see Ben's lips moving, but I can't hear his voice. I know you can. You're right. Yeah, I think the one positive you take your Brendan Rodgers that you mentioned there, the idea that he's managed to turn things around a little bit in the game. The fact that Madison came on and they looked like they just a little bit more in the final third is really, really important for them because they haven't threatened enough. I think they've looked a little bit off the pace. And they really missed Ricardo forever as well, giving them balance down the right-hand side. So I think that Brendan Rodgers be hoping that they can get that second half and sort of bottle that to some extent because the first half was really, really poor. They just didn't start the game.
Yeah, the Pereira thing, Stephen, is massive, isn't it? Because I mean, I know he plays right back, but he's essentially another winger, the amount he gets up and down.
It's sort of Fergie's a right back. They play exactly the same, the 2 full-backs as Liverpool do. And the way Manchester City have their full-backs playing as well. They play them high. The tempo at which Pereira runs at and the speed at which he attacks is quite frightening at times. I think his assists, the ability to take people on as a right back.
Yeah, this bit's done.
I think he's fine now.
Alright, poke up, Stoke.
Whoever plays in front of him, whether that's Perez or whether it's Albrighton or Madison, it gives more space to Madison because what naturally happens when you fall back to the ball is that you get creative overload on that side.
We can use it against them.
Players out towards you.
Nightmare
So when driving the ball, he's playing to come out and Perez the full-back on the opposite team, the left-back is on to get off stop that attack and then Vardy tries to replace it, but I was at the game of the weekend versus Chelsea, they started so well, but they seem to run out of energy, they just seem
It is over.
to dead on the feet a little bit in the second half, and I don't know whether that was
a psychological point of view where they felt that they'd done so well early on in the game, but that they sort of took the most of the opportunities that came their way. And then after that, they just looked out of any sort of creativity and didn't have any ideas.
The table plays so Wolves in 6 have 52 points, Manchester United 6, 55. They would go up to 55 points if it stays like this. That would be the worst day that comes from Leicester, who also have 55. Now, as it stands, top 5 is Champions League because the Manchester City fan will find out week after next. I think it's going to be whether or not that's going to stand or if it's going to change. But for now, it's the top 5. Yeah. And with Wolves just the other side of that, that is going to be incredible, that race between now and the end of the season.
Yeah, because the Premier League fans have to know for one year, which they probably deserve.
How are we getting down there?
Thank you, Clinton.
The next thing is that who's going to get in the Champions League, and it is quite enough. Obviously, Sheffield
I have a plan.
Do
you? Do not act so surprised.
No offence, brother.
Sorry,
Don't even Thor with Mjolnir in hand could get through that much ice.
Maybe slow as a fool.
This should be fun.
Boy.
I do worry for Leicester. I do believe they'll pick up form again, though. I do think when
Yeah, have I met your slide?
When the first time we were efficient, strong, we were moving up, very good control. That was totally different because put a lot of pressure on us.
You get out of the way.
We had more difficulties because we were goal, and after that we thought to defend more than attack. So what we did in the second half. We didn't play well, but we were focused defense.
I think you're going to see the same attitude tonight.
The spirit of the team is good. It's good, they are showing good spirit, they are showing good motivation. I think that the dream of the Europa League, that we can reach the Europa League is very important for us, and for this reason I think we are going to fight until the last game.
Well, they're only 2 points now, Everton behind Arsenal in 7, so that challenge for a Europa League place is very much on. I've got to say as well, Ben, I do quite like hearing from a manager who's delighted about the idea of being in the Europa League, because it is European football, and if you don't support one of the big 5 or 6 teams, that is huge. Any European football is huge.
Yeah, massive, and also just trying to get away from the fact that it's an enormous impact financially on your side as well. I think the idea of being sneery towards Europa League and the idea that it's somehow subpar or not actually an enormous benefit to your team to be in it is just completely bizarre. And I also I've absolutely loved watching Everton over the last few games. I think they've been really great fun.
Well, that was a waste of a perfect
How will you not see?
I thought that was just really
There is no way
interesting
to
time
hide.
to watch, and I love the fact that they're playing with 2 up top as well, watching Richarlison and Calvert-Lewin sort of go about business together and sort of create a little bit of a partnership has been absolutely brilliant. So yeah,
More like I can step into the realm of turning around this, and your mind doesn't understand what it's seeing, so it sees nothing at all. That's how we avoid ever having to actually change the
at the moment. It's just a shame that they can't be there to see it right now. I think the big thing with Everton now is that if you get European football and you've got Carlo Ancelotti as the manager, suddenly you're an attractive club. So you're in the market to buy players. People want to go to Everton. If I was a player and Carlo Ancelotti picked the phone up and said, "Come to Everton, we've got this exciting project," I'd just be like, "Well, you're Carlo Ancelotti. You just pick the phone up to me. I want to come and play for you." And that's the attraction now that Everton has. We know that they've tried to spend
ridiculous amounts of money, and they haven't done it particularly well. They're actually in a false position in a way because of the way Ancelotti's come in and put the tactics across that he's made them a better team from that point of view. But if he gets the money and he's given license to buy the players that fits in his system, the way he wants to play, they'll be a force in a few years. And I think that's what Carlo Ancelotti knew as well. He knows the history of Everton. He loves living in the city. He didn't go back to Italy over lockdown. Stayed in the city.
What speaks to you?
Really enjoys being there. And I think Evertonians and I'm not going to say this because it's not the right word to say. They're not fortunate to have him, but they are so pleased that he is at Everton Football Club, and so they should be, because I think even Liverpool fans before Jurgen Klopp came in, Ancelotti was a name that was linked with Liverpool, and I thought, brilliant. Ancelotti at Liverpool, I'd love that. That'd be brilliant. So they've got a top manager, and they can go places.
Let's go back to Hillsborough, Vicky, where West Brom are still leading Sheffield Wednesday by 2-0, just over 15 minutes to play. They've had a good chance for a third as well. Cameron Brzezinski off the bench for West Brom, taking advantage of a slip by Olivaggio. His effort well saved by Wildsmith. It's been a good contest in the second half. West Brom much improved from their very poor showing in the first half, and they lead Sheffield Wednesday by 2-0, and that is very, very good news for what was their faltering grip on automatic promotion.
Still West Ham won, Chelsea won at the London Stadium just underway in the second half. This is the Wednesday night club for evening. Ben Haynes, Spencer Morrison and Stephen Warnock with me until 10:30. Earlier this week, the Premier League, the EFL and the PFA announced a new scheme with the aim of increasing the number of Black, Asian and minority ethnic coaches. The idea being that it can help train players to move into full-time coaching roles in the professional game. It's going to start next season, and it will give 6 coaches a 23-month work placement at EFL clubs. Third season, it's also been backed by the Premier League Black Participants Advisory Group. Their chair is the Doncaster Rovers manager, Darren Moore. Good evening, Darren.
Good evening, lads. You okay?
Yes, all good. How are you?
Yeah, fine, thanks. All good.
Heading into that building?
And just waiting for the incubation for the EFL to announce when the new league campaign is going to start, but until then, there's other pressing matters which you've just read out that, yeah, we've been party to and really pleased to launch this new scheme.
Yeah, I mean, you've given it your backing, you're excited about it?
Yeah, I think it's a positive step. Please, it's not the big step that's going to, cure the facts that are out there, the facts that are alarming. There is a lot of in the right direction that it gives this country that background of hard work and professional level and exposure to current or ex-professional players, seeking that opportunity in the country
Big man, it's clear and good to see you. Yeah, it's a good scheme, and are you backing it as well? So are you part of it as well?
Yeah, because the reason I think it's a good scheme, Clinton, is different from the rest is that it gives the opportunity for the individual clubs to get his hands dirty and get really stuck into pressing matters at a football club, i.e. coaching, i.e. analysis work, sports science, all those kind of aspects that it gets hands on, but also there'll be reporting system and stuff. We'll get reports back on what the coach has been doing week in, week out, and seeing how it's been developed. Not only that, it gives the club to show the skill sets that the coach brings. You know as well as I do, Clinton, that there's loads of black and Asian and minority ethnic coaches outside the game that is doing inside the game would make the game so much better and so much more healthier and bring a skill set to it to make the game even better. This opportunity opens the door for that, for visibility, for inclusion, and it works both ways.
Hi Darren, it's Ben here, mate. I just want to know, what's the criteria in terms of the
I came here on a diplomatic mission once, trying to broker a peace between Asgard and Vanaheim.
An age target for it, or is it any sort of PFA coach?
What I didn't know was Thor had already gone on a killing spree of giants.
PFA members,
Nothing at all. That's the tragedy of it. They took no side in that madness. But Odin's paranoia is surpassed only by Thor's lust for blood.
I thought I was going to talk about tomorrow night's game.
Coaching badges and are up the coaching ladder, that they feel that it's sufficient enough to apply for these jobs. They can start applying. I think the closing date's on July the 17th, and then they'll go into being interviewed for those roles like anything else. And you know, the best suitable for these roles, and that will be selected. I think it's the right thing going forward then, because I feel that it's a start. It's not gonna. It's not something.
King's back again. He's a moron.
What to say? You know, 3-4 days ago, there wasn't 6 places available. There's 6 places now. To see that inclusion. What's to say in 12 months' time it's gone so well that we see another 6 that it doubles it to 12. Now, what's the number that will be a satisfactory number? There's not really a satisfactory number. What it is to see more inclusion in the game and see more visibility, not just at the coaching level, but right throughout the whole fraternity of the footballing industry.
Darren, just bear with us for one moment, because there's been another goal at the London Stadium.
200 Chelsea.
West Ham 2, Chelsea 1.
Oh.
Goal down, West Ham. Antonio, the scorer. We question whether he scored enough goals when he's just popped up 4
Didn't see that coming.
Right-hand side. Antonio is unmarked to sweep it in, and credit his perseverance. He went down inside the penalty area looking for a penalty, which it couldn't be. It wasn't given. He just got back up, made the run, and finished it from 4 yards. West Ham 2, Chelsea 1.
Thanks, John. And there's one more thing that I wanted to ask you, Darren, which is about the way in which this new scheme might potentially help the Rooney rule. And I spoke to Keith about the Rooney rule, and he's not a massive fan of it. And you know, for those that don't know, this is a situation which has existed for a while now in the EFL, and is monitoring and may become something which applies to mid-season appointments as well as summer appointments. But it's basically the rule that unless you are only looking at one candidate, you should be interviewing a Bain coach as one of the possible candidates if there are multiple people to talk to. But all that does
Now we must
is
free the other strap.
an interview. If they don't have the experience, if they haven't had the coaching, they're unlikely to do that interview process. But through this scheme, maybe the two things marrying together, we might see the kind of change that people want to see.
Yes, even that for the Rooney rule as a separate entity in terms of that, we could be on the show all night discussing that. That's one subject that with the airtime that we've got now, we could go through so many different channels. But I will just say, this scheme is a scheme that, when you look at the positivity that it brings, that it gives that the opportunity now for people to
thick layers of ice, so melting it won't work. And there weren't any shattered crystals nearby for me to shoot, so that's not an option.
Correct.
That just leaves smash from the ice. We need something ridiculously heavy to... I get it.
So in the next sort of 23 months, we'll get reports on how the 6 coaches have done. Or maybe in 12 months' time, we might increase another 6, and we might be talking about 12 or 24 coaches.
Turn the hammer so it lands near the twisted tip.
Not possible. We cut it free, write it down, and figure out what comes next after.
So your plan involves a whole bunch of luck.
You are welcome to suggest a different one.
They're going to have to get 6 coaches to work, and they're going to benefit from them. So at a time, it's come at a wonderful time, and a time that we should celebrate this going forward. Like I said, it's one scheme again, which is a positive step. There's many more that we're working on. I can guarantee to all those listening to this now,
Hold tight.
as chair of the advisory group, I'm sitting with some real big figureheads in the professional game, looking at different schemes, looking at different ways of seeing that inclusion
I've released the strap.
minority coaches get more in the game and bringing that equality right around in the game. So there's lots of work going on, and it's a positive step. I think we should all celebrate it. You know, we were celebrating how we celebrated as well. You know, we Keith Phil doing so well at Northampton, getting promotion. Excellent, fantastic. And we just keep pressing on, and as the days go by, the months go by, the years go by, you know, I for one will continue to keep challenging and seeing that inclusivity in our game.
Scotty, what I'll do, I'm more of, listen, I'll credit more of, because it's definitely baby steps, but there's no better person for people to learn from. If you want to be a coach, and we say that it's difficult to get coaches, I think Darren Moore, he's the one who's worked the hardest to get to where he's got to now. So that's why I say there's no better person to run this scheme and be the head of this scheme than Darren Moore. So any young person listening and wanting to be a coach, this is the best thing to go ahead with, because you've got the right person behind. He's done it the hard way, and he's a role model for all of us. So there is baby steps, and I'm glad he's heading it.
Much appreciated, Clinton.
What does it say?
Dan, it's a pleasure to talk to you. Thank you very much for coming on.
No, thanks ever so much, guys. Keep up the good work. Thank you.
Thank you. John
Those
Casper,
symbols.
head coach,
The seasons?
who is also the chair of the Premier League Black Participants Advisory
winter,
Group.
spring, summer,
Why start with winter?
Increasing the number of black, Asian and minority ethnic coaches.
Quiet.
Wednesday night, Clubland tomorrow.
Doesn't like music either.
And Ben Hayes are with me. I remember that interview. West Ham scored goals season. What a turnaround.
It's a big turnaround, and the one thing that I look at Chelsea is defensively they switch off, and they don't have that very figure to, you know, the Gary Cahill.
Boy.
And I just wonder whether you could have kept hold of Gary Cahill for another year or a little bit longer and playing in games like these. I mean, his ability to hold defenders together, to know when he's in trouble, to know when there's danger.
That word.
To see. They take pressure off the defence and take pressure off the team because they read the game so well. I don't see it with Christensen. He switches off. He's not a I think that's something that
well done, lad.
desperately needed at the moment. And maybe it's something
Write it again.
I thought Zuma did okay against Leicester.
The energy's losing the platform.
Again,
Keep writing.
Switch off, and listen, I can sit here and criticise. I switched off so many times in my career, and that's why I didn't play at the highest level.
How is this
I'm playing, didn't have the career.
I guess
But when you see it
dangerous
time
stuff
and
that
time
Ivan
again,
and Gods used to play
I know
around
the
with.
mistakes
The
because
ability
I've
to
made them
freeze
myself.
time.
Whereas John
A
Terry,
favourite of New York himself, in fact.
don't make those mistakes, and that's why they win Champions Leagues, they win leagues, and that's why they're the
Turns
best
out
at what they
stopping
do.
time keeps
And
the
that's
sun
what
and
you
moon
have
from
to do to
streaking
get to
across
that
the
next
sky.
level.
Unfortunately, it does not stop the wolves that chase them, always looking to sink their teeth in. After that, they decided it was best to leave time alone.
I can't get to the ball.
Second of the game, the Messiah Herrera. Inside the field area, whilst he's also provided with a ferocity of the shot, cricket past it. I would be nice to be that Samuel Phillips looks happy on the touchline. I'm sure that he is
Back to writing.
That's what happened when Leeds didn't win last night.
Oh, we can hear you now. So, yeah, welcome to Chelsea. Well, I think you cracked a little smile when the second goal went in David Moyes. And rightly so, because in the second half, his side has come out really well, and they've dominated Chelsea for much of it. The goal, of course, from Antonio to make it 2-1, and Lanzini had a great chance a moment ago. Left into the penalty area. Lanzini in his corner for Lanzini. Lanzini, we expected him to curl it into the top corner. He put it quality over the crossbar. And Chelsea, as Stephen said, was right. They went at the back, they were open at the back there, and they were pretty good all the people. That's where they had the chance to get 3 points there, or 3 points there, in the third place. And at the moment, they're going to turn that one up. And on the issue, which obviously one of the best stats that I have seen in a very long time, and the stats that probably will never be matched. William, with his penalty, he became the first player to score a Premier League goal in every month of the year.
The first Premier League player was on every month of the year.
Yeah. I'm sure it's all good.
Well, it certainly can't be big right now. Well, no, we'll be nice. I'll be honest, John.
I've been talked quite a lot about the fact that you obviously were heavily involved anyway, and you were working with your 21s, but also taking some sessions with the senior guys, so you obviously know them well.
Yeah, Michael was good enough to bring me in at certain periods when
Father, the ball dropped away. Look left it.
if you were focused Belfast Ridge, they're trying to integrate the group as well. And then there was a couple of times where we played in Dublin, a friendly in the Dublin Nation League game against Austria, and you know, it was good being around them a lot of that time to obviously see them close and personal, see how they work, and see how Michael and the staff works as well. And it's been a great 3 years. And
Did well.
Oh, thanks, good boy.
Having a little fun, you big drunk.
Probably make it a little bit easier going in September when we first get together, or next get together, and you know, it's nice to hear that players are back in the equipment, and hopefully we can hit the ground running in September in preparation for
push with everything.
Yes, sir.
I guess the continuity of that is massively important, isn't it? Because when somebody leaves a job because of their success, rather than because of a failure, the players will want continuity, especially when you start with Romania, Norway in the Nations League, and then Bosnia at the Euro 2021 playoffs. So that'd be a gentle start.
I have you.
And the players know you're right. They want to come on to be doing it probably in a similar style and way, and certainly that, you know, I try to be meticulous in a preparation. I like people to know their roles. I like to put sessions across that are enjoyable and fun to be involved in as well. Demanding hard work, certainly, and they're all the traits of what Michael showed. And for me, it was, certainly when I was asked to take over the role,
The man trader, he has a talent for destroying things.
Remember that head.
Never leaves my mind.
From the off, to build it into that playoff against Bosnia.
Hi, it's Ben here. I was just wondering if you could tell us a little bit about what that process is like. How did you get approached when you know that you've been sort of approached to take it?
I was interviewed for the role, definitely. But again, Michael had brought me into the fold leading into the game that was supposed to have been played in March. You know, with obviously the pandemic going across the world and obviously postponing football. And I think we have to remember that football takes a backseat when this sort of pandemic has gone through the world as it has. People have lost their lives. But you know, a lot of the preparation for Bosnia has been done. I was part of that because with Michael going to Stoke in November, I've been up to Bosnia. I looked at technical scouting, I looked at hotels, I looked at technical scouting in this country, obviously Northern Ireland, but also in England as well, to give us the best possible preparation leading into it. So a lot of that stuff has been done, and we've spoken about the strengths, weaknesses of Bosnia and the staff, and with Michael, because he was concentrating on Stoke. Really, and
They have no excuse.
Someone he could trust, and the association and Michael had sort of decided that I was the right man to do that. But no, the interview process certainly had to be gone through, and you know, we will give a scenario that we need to present on.
The great guy, enviable and funny. I remember there being a massive
and it was something we had to put together and present to the board.
There.
Oh, yes.
Still never break things, can
You just can't help but break things, can you?
For your football equivalent of that, you have to do the presentation on a difficult scenario to deal with.
Well, I think it was parts of that. It was you know, more based on how you would take the team forward, how you would
Memory serves. The yard stone was just on the other side of that wall of ice.
season. And then obviously there's the questions and answers that they're looking for from you, and you know, it was something pretty rigorous for I believe the 5 candidates that went for it, and listen, the other 4 candidates have got really strong claims for, you know, for being the Northern Ireland manager as well, and you know, I was fortunate and I'm really pleased to be asked to take over the role.
Yeah, there's 2 more. I'm just wondering, with the way things are at the moment, I'm very well, thank you. With everything that's going on at the moment, how does this leave you? I know you know the squad, but there's obviously going to be other players that you want to watch. How do you go about watching players now? Do you actually get special dispensations to go into the ground to watch the players, or are you just having to watch on clips of players?
Clearly, he's not been having any signs or symptoms, but that might not be the same for every player, and I understand that. Eric Southgate came out, I think, maybe as early as, I don't know, a few weeks into lockdown, and said, look, when we get a chance to play games again here in Stanford, we'll be attending games now. So it's a sort of a precedent for everybody. But that's where you've got to use the software and make video analysis, watch as much as you can through the television, and mostly trying to talk to players as well. Communication is going to be key. You know, relationship with them, you know, they know it's going to be watching Premier League and the playing games at the moment. You know, we've got players based in Scotland, and you know, going into September, it's going to be a real tricky one because we don't know when the new season is going to go. We don't know how many players are going to have to be training as we get nearer and nearer.
Sons showed up.
They're consistent in their game if they get into their first season doing well, and we've got some good young ones coming through. So you don't really believe that I was in line to be the number one. Obviously not for a little while, but then things start getting testy, and you know, for me it's I'm not fearful of taking over from Michael. I'm excited, I'm energised, cannot wait to get going.
Ian, it's been great to have you on. Best of luck with the job. Thank you very much.
Thanks very much.
Let's do it.
Ian Barraclough, the new head coach of Northern Ireland.
Well, when you do need
the
something,
goal of the
I'll
night
be
at the very
around.
least, and it's come at the London Stadium. John Southall.
It's gone to Chelsea, and it's got to Willian again. West Ham 2, Chelsea 2, free kick 20 yards out on the left-hand side. Willian held it round the ball, off the right-hand post, and then nestled into the bottom left-hand corner. Fantastic free kick for Willian. His second of the game, and it's 2-2.
More in a second. It's finished at Hillsborough, 55. Sheffield Wednesday 0, West Bromwich Albion 3. West Brom stopped to rob their first win and first goal in 5 league games.
Hurry, brother. We'll make it a piece of the chisel and be gone before we even notice.
5 points clear. Third place Brentford. They had it fruitful in the first half until Charlie Austin slammed home a penalty 8 minutes before the break. Much better in the second as Matthias Pereira's well-taken double wraps up the win. Kareem Harris at the post at 2-0 down for Wednesday. He stays 10 points clear of the drop zone. Healthy, but that EFL misconduct is still hanging over them, which could lead to a points deduction if they are found guilty. And that's for another day. And this evening belongs to West Bromwich Albion. 3-2 winners at Hillsborough.
Clinton, we still don't know what's happening with Willian's future. Surely they need to try and make the place to hang on to him. I'm not just saying that because he scored 2 goals tonight. He's a fantastic player.
Yeah, I think this Frank Lampard's coming. He's been
fight my boy. Go.
Assumed after the lockdown, he's probably been there most of the outstanding player.
Where do you think
He's started every game, never stopped engaging. He's hardly took him off, and he has been sensational. I think Chelsea are trying to pull out the new contract for him, but at the moment he's obviously over the years. I don't know why. Maybe he's got another move on the contract. He has to use some more. He's got a hell of a free kick to be fair. Fabianski will be disappointed.
I think today's the day.
I can't remember the last
Trying to manage that transition.
Stay behind me, boy. Why do you hunt us? What does Odin want?
Come here. You're done.
Shut up! Don't call me that!
That experience juxtaposed with the energy and dynamism of the young players, I think it's so important.
I said shut up!
Calm yourself, boy.
Looks like they need another lesson. Hang on, lad!
Plans for
I bet Daddy's embarrassed.
Shut it out.
She cut up your face.
Don't talk about my mother!
Don't talk about my mother.
Don't listen to him, lad. Trying to rile you up.
Shut my radio.
Let's bring George Ellison from the Top 20 podcast. Evening, George. Hello, George. Can you hear me? I can hear you. Yeah, go. I've got you. We'll stay late a little bit because we did play last night. Tonight, I guess the biggest story is Huddersfield's win. Look at the results from the previous round of fixtures. All the teams down there picked up 6 results apart from them. So to win 3-0 away from home at Birmingham is massive. It's a big results, and we're seeing one of those really championship quirks that only seems to happen in the championship.
Stop it!
Boy, stay focused.
Those that had kind of 3 months to wait, knowing that these players, effectively their brothers, are the ones that are struggling. So a massive result, I feel, then back out of relegation zone. Hull is unexpected. They've got a very big game. I don't need to tell you. I don't think it's not mine. He's not been following Derby's progress. Gary the first, 30 points in 15 games. No team has picked up more points, and he's been absolutely vital in that role as well. Gary's been mature in midfield role. He scored the only goal today, which was a genius free kick from just outside the area, sending the keeper the wrong way. He's been a catalyst for a running form of Derby for the season, go from enormous challenges.
Wow. Well, that must have been some forward to me.
I'll kill you!
How did you? Keep an eye on him.
Yeah, I mean, I think the big thing is that there was calls that Cocker could actually go at one point where they weren't doing the style of football. He was trying to play it a certain way. The formations weren't working. I think even when Rooney came in, it still wasn't clicking properly. But then once he put him into that withdrawal role, it's the youngster really said good. I look at the way he receives the ball and the areas that he gets in. Rooney picks up this relationship. Now, what it says to me is Rooney trusts us. Because every time he picks the ball up and picks it up,
Should do. With that, we can carve the travel room to Jotunheim. Get you where you need to go. Go in.
but what he does is he just gets the wrong side of the midfielders and he causes all kinds of danger. They are definitely a team.
Gently, all those magically sealed doors we've seen can now be unlocked. Like that one round the corner. You can get through that door there now that you've got the chisel.
Look at Aston Villa last season who did exactly the same. They went on this sort of 12 the playoffs and momentum took them into that final against the Palace. They took the cruise against the Palace that day. And you just wonder whether
You killed Maggie.
That he did.
He was the god. But you killed him.
Minor ACR perhaps, but aye.
In his father's store.
Not minor. Not minor at all, him. This will not go over well in Asgard.
I defended us. Nothing more. I fear no judgment.
Judgment? No. Vengeance is any concern.
Since when can you kill a god?
I've never known a centre forward who are any centre forward who can drop and play like a quarterback and pass the ball like he does. It is an absolute joke. He's a great player, and I know there are youngsters at Derby. They're brilliant around the place. So one of the players of Derby players. Let me give you the situation to start with the trade like. You've got Leeds, that's from that's big injury to that tonight, 3 or 7 Second on 74, then the gap to Brentford on 69, Forest Sports on 67, also on 67, Cardiff 6 on 61, and then Derby 1 point and 1 place outside the player. They're on 60 points, they're definitely with a good opportunity. What I say to you, the best team since the restart in any league has to be Brentford, isn't it?
You boys look like you're gearing up for quite the journey.
We were here before. But which way back?
And there's just professionalism about the way they go about it. They've got class players in the likes of Ollie Watkins, Ben Rama, Ryan Bomo. These are Premier League quality players playing in the final third for Brentford. At the back, Ethan Pinnock, who's got the forward.
I don't think the lad's doing too well.
Very good for Barnsley, before making the move last summer.
If so, then keep up.
To me, on current form, like probably the best side in the league. Current side, they look so solid, and that's the difficulty. Whichever side
Hey, I just realized Magni didn't come back to life.
Is interesting. It's known the Aesir find their own way to Valhalla. No Valkyrie escort, no processing at Valheim. That may be significant.
Getting used to the he's been outstanding at the back. He's strong, he's good on the floor, and partnership to that. That's formed a good partnership. Because everyone, when you watch Brentford, everyone talks about the front three. Who have been outstanding? Only Watkins, shared top goal scorer in the championship with Mitrovic. They've been outstanding, but I think, in particular, Pinnock, partnership in the championship. So I'm going to throw you another question. Do you think Connor would stay in the playoffs? Because obviously Mitrovic, he's obviously got 3 games on the night. I know they won yesterday against QPR, but teams are chasing and I feel like Fulham struggle when Mitrovic's not in that team.
I think they will finish in the top 6. I think a story got against QPR yesterday, it could have been a different story, but now 7 points there, 6 games to go. I think they've probably got enough. George, great to have you on. Thank you very much. Thank you. George out there from the Top 20 podcast. Clinton, you said don't ask you to make any predictions, and then we get a guest on, and you're asking him to make predictions.
That's what I'm here for. For 2 hours making predictions.
West Ham 2, Chelsea 2, West Ham I thought it whether the Storm looked to play the ball into Antonio. Kepa came out quickly, spread himself to deny Antonio. At the other end, Pulisic dragged his shot wide of the left-hand post. Could go either way. This Chelsea West Ham
Look, right near the Giants' net. What?
Fishermen would bring their day's catch into this port and use that contraption to send some of it directly to the Jarl's main kitchen. The rest was sorted and sold.
There's an exit. There's an opening.
Just think about inches there. If Antonio can get a little bit earlier, they go in between 2 and 3 for the last 5 minutes. I've got Ben Hayes, Chris Morrison and Stephen Warner with me on the Wednesday night club. We've got another half an hour of the programme to go. So this is what we're going to do. We will wrap up the final 5 minutes of West Ham against Chelsea. We'll go to the score. We'll hopefully get some reactions before 10:30. We're also going to preview tomorrow night's game in the Premier League. Manchester City against Liverpool with the Guard of Honour, of course, at the Etihad Stadium.
There's a rope up here.
Nobody knows. And we also have Sheffield United against Tottenham Hotspur. So we'll get into both of those games. We'll review what's happened at the London Stadium, and fingers crossed we'll be able to hear from the managers as well. Just to let you know, also to come this weekend, we've got Manchester United against Bournemouth, then Burnley against United on Sunday, Newcastle West Ham, Liverpool Villa, and Southampton Manchester City. We are still dripping with football.
Berlin City where people we got to the party release when indeed security forces are already ramping up on cars for doing this speak that things freely. The rule of law has been eviscerated.
Around 12,000 job losses have been announced across the UK as a result of the coronavirus pandemic. High street retailers, including the Arcadia Group, Harrods and WH Smith, are among the next to their workforce. Some big branches will not reopen. The government has signed data protection agreements with local authorities to
Back
ensure
under his
that
palm.
they receive all the
We're almost
correct
there.
testing information that they need to respond to a surge in the number of
Everything we
infections
just
in
did.
their areas.
Climbed around a dead giant, rode a giant falling hammer, fought some
Where a
bad
second
gods.
lockdown was
What do you
implemented
think mother
yesterday,
was?
3 weeks
Bet you have
after
come a
arrival
long
cases
way.
was first noticed.
Thanks.
Our health correspondent Nick Sizzle says the councils can act quickly if they all the people who know the local area well if they see cases rising, they'll be able to encourage people to maybe change their behaviour, maybe change more to test and trace, maybe remind them about the need to isolate if they've got symptoms, and by doing that they may well avoid a lockdown, a local lockdown that we've seen announced in Leicester this week. Councils in England have warned that critical services could be cut because of the additional cost of dealing with the pandemic. The Local Government Association estimates that even with more than £3 billion of extra support from central government, there'll be a funding gap of more than £7 billion this year.
It was to be his masterwork. He only wanted to protect his people.
The former West Indian cricketer for Everton has died at the age of 95. He made his name as one of the 3 W's, alongside Sir Clive Walcott and Sir Frank Worrell. Our sports correspondent Andy Swift says Mr. Everton's career.
Until the late 1940s, the West Indies had produced few world-class players. But in 1948, 3 outstanding young batsmen from Barbados made their debuts. Sir Clive Walcott, Sir Frank Worrell and Sir Everton Weekes became known as the 3 W's, and they took the team to a new level, especially Weekes. After scoring a century against England, he began his next series against India with 4 more. That remarkable record of 500 in 5 consecutive Test innings has never been matched.
And the weather is to be a largely cloudy night with rain across northern England. BBC News, it's 3 minutes past 10. Ed James and John Robbins.
Talk me through the sort of stuff you're dealing with in a primary national curriculum less than homeschooling edition.
When it sends exercises by the schools, which we started off by doing, and then it became probably more fine-paced.
Sounds like a fluid kind of, I'm going to say, humanist, holistic approach to teaching.
I'm so approachable and sure that I never do what I guess that. I'm doing the smallest little thing.
Ed James and John Robbins.
This Friday from 1 on BBC Radio 5 Live. This is 5 Live Sport.
With Steve Cotton.
Injury time at the London Stadium and John Southall.
What about this? West Ham 3, Chelsea 2. Chelsea open up at the back and turning it just over the halfway line. Sprayed the ball out to Yarmolenko on the right-hand side. He cut in and slammed the ball into the bottom left-hand corner. And what an important goal that could be for West Ham at the bottom of the table. They've come from behind and they lead Chelsea 3-2, and we're just into the first minute of 4 added on.
John's going to stay with us. We've got Ben Haynes, Stephen Warnock and Clinton Morrison with me on the Wednesday night club. I mean, what a moment that was, Stephen. And it was a moment that just demanded a stadium going absolutely nuts. But it is what it is, and what an important goal that is for West Ham.
That's huge, and Yarmolenko is a player that, I mean, at the beginning of the season, when you're watching him and Anderson on the other side of the flanks, you're thinking the future looked bright for West Ham because you're thinking he's a hard-working player, but just seeing his celebration there and you're wondering what's going on because he's been on the bench, he's sort of looking across at the bench and gesturing something towards them, but it just shows the vulnerability again of Chelsea at the back and what they're like, leaving themselves 1v1 in a situation and Christensen going tight and then getting spun in behind. It's far too easy, and that's what will be frustrating Frank Lampard, because even at the game against Leicester they were fortunate to stay in the game. Leicester just didn't have the quality on the night to punish them, but brilliant goal, don't take that away from Yarmolenko, and what a huge result for West Ham.
It might not have happened like that.
was just about to say, John, you couldn't really see some statistics from television just in terms of the way that the game has played out. It's massively overcommitted. Absolutely, as Stephen was saying, I mean, we've seen it a lot of times this season, we've even seen it in this game, and they got this out of the back, and Yarmolenko, I think that's his first goal since September. So, I mean, he's had a fairly ragged season, but we know his quality. And what a brilliant finish that was. I don't forget, they're about to do the job at Chelsea this season, West Ham. They beat them back in November.
That would explain the hefty magical lock on the outside.
But it's more than that. I had this feeling something's waiting for us.
You have a knack for ominous statements, lad.
What kind of something?
Not sure. Something powerful.
Whatever you feel, boy. We will handle it. We have come this far. Yes?
Yes, sir.
When West Ham went behind in the game.
Yeah, and it's not the first time we've seen it. And he's talked about it before this season, about Chelsea's defending. I spoke earlier about set pieces, but they've been able to on a number of occasions tonight. And I think a few others this season will be watching this and possibly looking to exploit. So here they come anyway. Kante with a shot, and he struck that horribly wide.
Stephen makes a great point about them defending, and if you watch it, I don't know if Stephen's talking about the same thing, but why are, like, Chelsea, a point not bad, why are they going for the win? A point away at West Ham, I know West Ham are not in good form, but why are they going? Antonio does well, I think he's done well all evening, played a good ball to Yarmolenko, and I was going to ask Stephen, who is defending him? You know Yarmolenko wants to come onto his left foot. Why did he let him come back inside? But I don't know, maybe it's tired leg, that's why I was just going to ask Stephen, but go on, mate.
Well, I think it's even before that, though. You've got the situation where Rudiger should be saying to Christensen, go in front of Antonio, stop the ball going into his chest, I'll go behind you, you sort that out. And then the attack never happens. That's schoolboy defending, that is like... It's stuff that happens on Sunday league pitches and under 14s, under 13s, and it's things that get drilled into you week in, week out. That's again where the senior experienced player says, we don't concede anything here. The two lads at the back are talking to each other constantly. It's pathetic from Chelsea.
Well, I think Chelsea fans will say to you that is one of the areas in the short break we're going to get between seasons where Chelsea are going to have to look to try and bring somebody in. I think Darren's the goalkeeper in the two positions I've been looking at, and the ball's gone out of the far corner, and I can make it 4.5 minutes of added time, so the referee should blow his whistle. Once Kepa launches this upfield, I thought, West Ham lead by 3 goals to 2. It's a terrific game. Kepa in all orange, going through the halfway line, and there goes the full-time whistle. What a result this is for West Ham United. Not only did they move them 3 points clear of the relegation places, but what it will give them for the remainder of the season. The players of the match, I mean, it seems such a long time ago to disallowed goal. Suchek with the disallowed goal. Actually, Peter O'Malley put out a statement about that, saying that Antonio was in an offside position and trying to see the line of vision.
Maybe Phil have a look at the boy.
And that is why
I feel better now. I just needed to catch my breath.
Now that we've dropped the Giants' chisel, we need to learn the travel route to York, so we can carve it into that special gateway atop the boat. You open realm travel to the land of the Giants.
Is certainly right up there.
The settlement did mention that the Giants have entrusted that secret to Tier.
Isn't Tier dead?
But his hidden boat is very much in reach. The door is kept, so now from the lake for Jen.
That's my for his wife.
Here we shall find the feeble black hand of Rupert.
We could also explore some more. We got that chisel now, and that vault isn't going anywhere. It seems a shame to waste the boat.
We shall see, boy.
And slotted it in from 4 yards out. Then equalised to make it 2-2. Willian on the left of the team held it round the wall, off the right post, and the ball into the left.
Last we were in the boat, let's hear the story. What did you want to tell me about the long war?
Both sides suffered tremendous losses, and for many of us, quite frankly, war was simply no fun anymore, but a rather senseless waste of precious life. Wouldn't you agree, brother?
Very interesting.
Precisely. Enough was enough. And at last, Odin's most brilliant advisor became determined to find a more enlightened path. He set about to broker a peace between the gods. It took some convincing, but ultimately Odin was persuaded to marry his deadliest enemy. Vanir goddess, legendary not only for her fertile beauty, but her genius at the very Vanir magic that Odin had long aspired to master.
Freya married Odin? What was in it for her?
It was a sacrifice to protect her people. A selfless act of love. Fully, she deserves better than she got. But of course, there's more to that story.
So hopefully we'll get more reaction from the London Stadium between now and half-7 when Chris Warburton will be taking over on 5 Live. Let's turn our attention to tomorrow night's big game at the Etihad now, which is Manchester City against Liverpool. Chris Morrison's Ben Haynes from 1980 with me. Down on this season, and deservedly so. Have you recovered yet, actually, from Liverpool?
Wow. I can't believe we're setting foot in Q's vault.
I'm not just saying this, but I think we all knew it was done before the pandemic. It was just a matter of fact of coming back to restart the season and not having another employed season. I think once we knew it was going to start up, it was just a matter of when.
Was a god,
but it's the right thing to do. It's a sign of respect for the team who's won the title and been the best team. I'd have had no issues at any point giving anyone a guard of honour, and I think it's a sign of respect that I think we should show, and it's the right thing to do.
Yeah, I think
but he was loved by everyone, including the Giants. Other than me, he was the only one they gifted with their special sight. Yeah, I wonder if the Giants left a triptych about me somewhere
It
too.
doesn't take a huge amount, and I think it actually shows an enormous amount of respect for what Liverpool have achieved, considering...
Go ahead.
Actually, come on. Let me show you how to do this.
That is not necessary.
You taught me so much. Let me teach you something.
Comments the other day was quite interesting.
Andreas.
Come on. You already speak it. Learning to read won't be that hard.
I know how to read, boy. Just not this tongue.
You're halfway there already. Okay. So the runes represent a lot of different things. Some gods. Some animals.
Wait.
Oh, am I going too fast? Sorry.
Not that.
Sorry, brother, I was just going to say one of the other things as well, that from a Man City point of view, who are the title holders, who are passing it on to Liverpool, I'd almost be not happy to give them a guard of honour, but it would fire me up so much. I'd be thinking, I'm clapping on the champions here, I want that back, I'm desperately going to want that back, and that'll fuel the fire for the Man City players.
Yeah, no, exactly. Great minds think alike. I was going to say that Man City will not want to give them the guard of honour. They'll be devastated, and we'll spur them on to do better next season. But you have to give Liverpool guard of honour. They've been outstanding. To win the league so early, with that much games left to go and by so much price, they deserve
Take
that.
the boat. Freya's isn't far.
Man City might not want to do it, but they'll come again next season. But I can't wait for the Premier League next season again because it's so interesting. But Liverpool have been outstanding and thoroughly deserve it. Stephen, if it was you, would you have rather got a guard of honour at the Etihad or won it at the Etihad?
Personally, I think as a player, I would love to have worked on the pitch, and I'd love to have took it off the grading champions. I just think the euphoria after the game, and don't get me wrong, we all watch the scenes and all the social media videos coming out of the players celebrating, but I think when it's almost like winning the cup final, isn't it, on the day, and you've got that feeling of the build-up before the game.
Especially
I just
now
wonder
that
whether the
taken
Liverpool
autonomous
players were
king.
almost happy to get it out
His
of the way.
forest is a blind spot.
You imagine going
This is
into
our
that game
smartest
and then
move.
if you lose it,
Anyone can heal in.
What is happening to him?
I've seen it in mortals that some conflict of the mind expresses itself as an ailment of the body. Never God believing himself mortal. I can only imagine. We're almost there.
I think you'll see an elite performance from Liverpool, but I think you'll see an elite performance from Man City as well, because they're not going to go down without a fight. And don't get me wrong, when I say go down without a fight, over the next couple of years, the reason these two teams are the best in Europe or best in the Premier League, and if not two who are going to be the best in Europe for a few years, is because of the competitive nature that they've got with each other. That's the reason these two managers and sets of players are so good, is because they push each other.
surely you want to start sending the message now for next season. If you're Man City, you're desperate to get that win. So make sure you set a marker now. And we're not, the point you say we're far ahead of you.
Somebody just called the serpent.
Yeah, I think you're both right. They're all just trying to put down a marker and say, yeah, you're not miles ahead of us. But I don't think they're miles ahead of us. I think the difference has been probably Liverpool's defence is excellent and Man City's defence hasn't been good enough. Going forward, I think Man City has been superb. Liverpool's been unbelievable going forward. But when you've got Alexander-Arnold, Robertson, Van Dijk, Gomez, and whoever plays with Van Dijk, I think the defence is probably come out on top. Liverpool's defence has been miles better than Man City's defence.
I think one of the games that stands out for me was actually the Community Shield at the beginning of the season.
Serious.
And
We
you
must
see
hurry.
Liverpool came back and they didn't play well in the first half. And it was almost like that Man City almost wiped the floor with them in the first half. Some of the football they played was incredible. And then Jurgen Klopp made a few changes at half time. The Liverpool team came out and the second half was frightening. And I remember
Open the door!
you're not going
We
to
need your help!
title this season, but almost Liverpool gained the confidence from that second half to know that they can compete with Man City and even be better with them. And I think there was almost, not a fear element from Manchester City, but almost a
Helheim of all places.
process of
You all right, brother?
I will do what I must. Leave me be.
team and they're going to push us all the way.
Does that come down to fire as well, then? What you were saying about and how it will fire them up. And you know, we've spoken so much about, you know, not replacing distant company and all that, and that's clearly a big factor. But because they were so close last season, Stephen, Liverpool will have retained the fire because they didn't win it. Do you think having won it, it made it harder for City to bring themselves back up to the level required to go against Liverpool for a whole season?
I think one of the big things that was so impressive about Liverpool was the reaction from getting beat from Real Madrid and the year before, and that feeling of losing. I spoke to a few of the players about it, and it was sort of almost like they knew they were a good team, but they needed to take that next step, and the fire that they got from that was so impressive to come back and to actually reach two finals on the bounce is not an easy thing to do. Yes, Real Madrid did it 3 years on the road, but to actually get into back-to-back finals was impressive in itself, and the belief they took from winning that final after losing the league so closely spurred them on to want to win again. And I work with quite a few of the ex-Liverpool players covering games for Liverpool. And they always say that getting that off your back and winning that trophy instills a different type of belief into you. And they say you can't explain what it is.
Get out of my head.
And the confidence just keeps on building and building. And I look at Liverpool now and you think, if they do take that belief into next season, which I think they will do, with the way that they've played and the way that they've done it. And what we have to remember, over 2 years, Liverpool have swung from being 23 points behind to now being 20 odd points ahead. There's been a 45-point swing in 2 years, which is remarkable for any team to sort of swing. And especially when we're talking about the Centurions of Manchester City as well.
Chris Warburton is up after us on 5 Line.
Hello, mate. How are you?
Good. But were you there when Liverpool lost the Champions League final to Real Madrid? You were out there, weren't you?
I looked at the game, sadly. I was in some terrible Lebanese bar, as far as I remember. I don't remember what the hell I was eating. Yeah, exactly. Oh, it was great. I mean, it was a great few days, actually, because I probably wouldn't have had the opportunity to go to Ukraine just for a round in my life, you know, and then suddenly you're there in Kiev and you're thinking, oh, this is a very interesting place. So, it was great. It was a great few days. Very, very, very memorable. Anyway, yes, we have got a lock-in. We've got a lock-in, the proper lock-in that Colin's been doing over all of these months. After midnight till 1 o'clock, the landlord is away, so you'll have me letting the barman take over and try to keep control of the whole thing. But I'm really looking forward to doing that. Before that, though, stay with us after 10:30 because we'll start by talking about Wigan Athletic. Of course, as you know, they to administration, the first professional English club to do so since the coronavirus pandemic began. really troubling news for their fans. They're looking good at great as well. Now facing this 12-point reduction and in need of a new buyer, we'll speak to a football finance expert who really knows all the how it might go and what we might be looking at in terms of other clubs. And this whole idea of when fans might actually be able to come back to the game. You know, I mean, what's going to be happening come September? What's happening until we get a vaccine? We'll wait and see, but hopefully they'll have a bit of an idea, because obviously those clubs down in League 1, League 2, the National League, it's all about the pies, isn't it? The beers, the programmes, filling out the function facilities, all the rest of it. Without that, it gets very, very tricky. Also, it's the very first Pride March took place in London on this day 48 years ago. So we'll have a bit of a Pride thread working its way through the programme. Situation to them. And we'll see some of those people who were on the very first march, amazing memories of what just feels like a completely different bag when you're listening to what they have to say. And a couple of guests actually with us with their own very special memories of Pride too when we do the lock-in after midnight. So that'll be interesting. So stay with us all of that. We'll have the usual music and the spoken word. And if you don't get David Moyes or Fred Lampard on your programme, then we'll bring them to you after half-past.
That's very kind of you, Chris. If I could pick anybody to be locked down within a Lebanese fire in Ukraine, it would probably be you.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that, mate. Well, maybe we'll get to test that theory one day. That would be nice.
Yeah, it would. Cheers, Chris. Have a good show. Chris Robertson on from 10:30 here on 5 Live. Here are the results today in the Premier League. Massive night results. Bournemouth 1, Newcastle 4. Absolute hammer blow to Bournemouth hopes of staying in the Premier League. They've got some incredibly difficult games to come. Arsenal absolutely waltzed it against Norwich City. 4-0 winners there. Everton 2, Leicester 1. That meant that Leicester would have surrendered third place for the first time in a long time had Chelsea won at West Ham. Well, they were leading, but it turned out to be the game of the night, and it finished West Ham 3, Chelsea 2. Clinton Morrison, Stephen Warnock, and Ben Haynes from 90 Min with me. I mean, the size of this result, Stephen, for West Ham season, I'm just looking at the bottom of the table, 16th now, 3 points clear of the relegation zone. It just took that one big result, and suddenly things look so much brighter.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we really thought it was going to come, did we? I think we were wondering when the result was going to come from, but you look at West Ham's...
There's nothing starting. What does listen to the truth if you want. It changes nothing. Pretend everything you are not. Teacher. Husband.
Someone will put a result together. That could definitely be West Ham, but what a win to get.
But there is one unfortunate truth you will never escape. You cannot change. You will always be a monster.
I know. And really caused Chelsea too many problems. The only thing
But I am a monster, so know that.
All right, brother. Let's see what those blades can do.
Well, you had right at the start, well, I say right at the start again, it was back in 34 minutes in, 2 sets goals. They get 2-1 up, and then they're pegged back for a really free kick. Maybe you could give them if they came in. They come back and win it through Yarmolenko. Win a game in a relegation battle. This is the way to win it. So yeah, it's a huge result for West Ham.
Ah, yes, those blades will serve quite well. Oh, I bet you can see a door to the realm between realms over there, on your own front yard, no less. Take the shortcut back to the realm travel temple, then on to Helheim, yeah?
To have a game like Antonio as well, and actually from now that I think the other thing that I noticed today, they weren't just sitting off, they were actually pressing the ball and making it a little bit more difficult and pressing with the two. I mean, when you play as a lone striker, I assume that it's an absolute nightmare pressing on your own because people just pass triangles around you. So to have a bit more support with that side of the game must have made a massive difference to Antonio.
Well, I'm pretty sure you weren't talking to me back there. Anything you'd like to get off your chest, brother? I can assure you I'm unsurpassed in keeping confidences. Well, you know where to find me. And for the record, I'd already guessed you were Greek. Athena, dead giveaway.
I think sometimes, Ben, you get games that just go for you as well, and that's what happens. Chelsea have been kind tonight. I've just been watching the goals back then, and I look at Kepa for the first goal, and that is definitely the position that Frank Lampard will have to strengthen. He's bounced off his own player, and he's on the floor holding his hands up, and I'm thinking, go and smash your own player, go and smash the West Ham player, and take everything, and take the ball, and take the pressure off your defence. He doesn't do it. And the other thing that he should be saying to his defenders,
What are those? I've never seen you. Scotland, it's going to go fairy there. No one ever believed.
My brother and me created my own air. I know for him
and especially naturally build through the game, and that's why when you say where's that determination being, where's that ability being to take someone on, that builds during the game naturally.
Don't worry, kids.
That build, and
I'll be keeping my eye.
That's why West Ham fans will be frustrated.
Do you think, Clinton, one of the things that's massively in West Ham's favour is they have a player like Yarmolenko who they can bring in off the bench? You saw his reaction when he scored the goal. I mean, he's a braver man than me to sort of sound him off in the direction of David Moyes. I don't think I'd ever do that in any scenario. No, I like that, Crosby. That proves that you want to get on the pitch. I would have done the same. Why am I on the bench? We've not been winning football matches. You've not been playing with me. But here's my point. I'm proving to you I should be in the team. But he's a good finish. Listen, he hasn't delivered like he should have done. They paid quite a bit of money for him, and he's had a few
now that
injuries.
Freya's given you the travel into Helheim,
You are
it should
right,
be
you look at
unlocked
their
on the
bench,
table.
Felipe Anderson, they paid over 40 million for it, didn't even get on the pitch tonight, so yeah, they've got strength in depth, and also Haller to come back. So I think once Haller comes back, and Yarmolenko can start contributing like he did today, I believe West Ham will be right. But no, Crosby, don't worry, even if you can't watch the game, I'll be changing it. Norwich are up by over 21 points. They're 19 from 27. Villa and Exeter also on 27. And Villa currently above Bournemouth on goals scored. They have the same goal difference. Watford 17th on 28 points. And then West Ham now 3 points clear of trouble on 30. Even after a forward defeat to Newcastle, they've got incredibly difficult work. Yeah, I have to see them surviving down there. You know what I was going to say to you? His body language at the time, he looked like a man completely defeated. And I remember he went on to the show earlier in the season where he said something along the lines of, I don't know what more we can do, or I don't really know what it is that we can do. And I just wonder whether just a little bit further away.
I'll be watching your back.
Slipping away from you. And
Let me take this moment to tell you that what you're about to do is absolutely insane. No can survive this cold. So, hope those blades work.
While you're sitting there and getting results at the head tonight against Newcastle, I know we sort of we made the point earlier on, but I really do feel like tonight could have been that performance that was the first domino, or one of the last dominoes, should I say, to fall.
We've run out of time, guys. It's been an absolute pleasure. Ben Haynes, Stephen Warnock, Clint Morrison, thank you very much for joining us tonight. Cheers for backing me up, Clinton, as well. I've always appreciated it. Tomorrow night on 5.